I think honestly, from my experience with working with Thai artists, because I flew there actually for Ranga because he went viral in Thailand, right? Creativity wise, I think like the weed lah, like so it's actually very similar to Mendo like pop, like ballad works, and then you must sing in Thai. Then that's really the standard. Like you just do a ballad song in Thai, and then you must if you're a guy appear in Boy Love series, success. That is their way of doing. Yeah.
Like everything is like kind of boiled down to a formula. It's like kind of like counterintuitive, right? As to why we do art in the first place, right?
Correct. Yeah.
We do art is like express whatever we want to express. But then the thing is like now it's your occupation now. Yeah. So to make it work, you have to kind of like follow like a set formula.
Yeah. I mean, this is what they tell me lah. Like don't quote me,
man.
What is
all these are gin, different kind of gin. So I think this is the most chill one. It's like a cocktail. It's like a apple pie flavored gin.
What's this?
This is their limited edition done for F1.
Okay. Limited edition it is.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
So
oh, sorry. I'm terrible at buying drinks, as you can tell.
Before you were cheers, man. Before you were building your own artist brand, and then now you have to build somebody else's brand, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was like starting out. And then someone told me that, in Singapore, it is not developed enough. Even if whatever you do in Singapore, right, you are just paving the way for the next generation. You probably wouldn't be it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then when I heard that, right, when this year is like my 16th year DJing or 15th year DJing, right? When I was like first or second year DJing, someone told me that. And I was just like, wow, fuck, man. This is like...
Can I make a guess? Is it like Koflo?
No,
because Koflo told me that 10 years ago.
Koflo sounds like the kind of guy that would say this kind of thing, right? Yeah. But it's not. But someone else actually in NS did. In my army, even till this day, we are still reservicing together. 3 more cycles, we're done. Yes, fuck everybody. 5. Okay. Okay. Yeah, still far. Then and then I was like, wow. I really, because at the end of the day, you really want to make it yourself, right? And then to now, like, you are just like helping someone else make it. It's exactly like JYP, you know, I don't know if you know. Right, born to be a K-pop star, end up becoming a CEO.
Yeah.
Right.
Then and now he just goes there and then
he goes whiplash and everybody. Yeah. Dude, he done better than half of them, man. That's crazy.
But you know, he's no longer the CEO of JYP.
Oh. What the hell?
Like 10 years ago, you know, I just found this out recently. But
he's just owner lah, so he just relaxed.
No, I think he got bought out. I think because he's too crazy or something.
Oh shit!
He was a pastor for a bit.
No, but I thought I saw a recent podcast, right? He said that the old building, right, he's gonna tear down to reopen a new building nearer to his house.
That's the thing. So like he's so eccentric, right? I don't know what's real anymore. Because there are videos out there where he's like, if you ever get married, you've already lost. Have you seen those TikTok videos where he's a pastor?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then you see him go on, it's like still talking about JYP. But then when you Google him, right? If you Google him now, he says he's no longer the CEO. Then you're like, okay, what is going on? So I have no idea what is going on, whether he still owns it, whether he's the CEO, but I just know he's very entertaining wherever he performs, right? Do you see the one, was it one award show where he Sweet Dreams of Me?
Yeah. He has his own like backup dancers and shit.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts, man? Like now you are building the next generation instead of building yourself. Is that...
Yeah, because I think like at the start, right, like my plan was never to build myself.
This episode of Revelry Podcast is brought to you by Ripple Hydration, the perfect isotonic recovery drink for active individuals or after a late night out partying and drinking. Unlike many of its competitors, Ripple Hydration is a sugar-free beverage, a healthier option. This in turn prevents an energy spike and crash situation. It comes in a variety of flavors, and my personal favorite is the lemon lime. Each one of the sachets can be mixed with up to 750 ml of water. And again, comparing with similar beverage brands in the market, it is the most value for money. So click the link in the description and get a limited time 15% off all Ripple Hydration beverage purchases. And now, back to the show.
Actually, like, it was all part of like this idea I had for like 10 years where I am right now. I started at 20. So like, when I started out, let's say I go in school and I want to be a producer and I always want to be back end. And of course, somebody also, I think for mine it was Koflo, came to me and said, oh, you know, like, it's not going to be possible. Whatever you do now, Singapore's still very new. Like, because we just, at that period of time, we just got the Willows at their height.
Yeah.
Like, Bones was just breaking out.
Wait, did you start out as a DJ? That's how you know Koflo.
That's the crazy part. I didn't. I started out doing EDM music.
Yeah.
You know Mern?
Yeah.
So when Mern was coming up,
Yeah.
I was learning how to do EDM also. We used to be in a Facebook group together. That's how long ago I was in. So I started EDM, and then like I wanted to move into artist production because I started with this band called Vils, right, post-hardcore, right. And this guy told me like, hey, like how do we make like Singapore music? We had a long discussion. It was Koflo and me, and he said like, you know, everything you build is you're never gonna see it. And I was like, sure, like that's fine.
No,
right?
you're okay with it?
Yeah, I was okay with it because
damn.
I don't think I've never wanted to be in the spotlight, right? Over the years, I've been thrust into the spotlight because of what I am and who I am, right? But when I started out, I had a plan, and the plan was, okay, how do I build this like YG, JYP, SM? Because I used to be very into K-pop when I was younger. So to start out, right, in Singapore, first thing you gotta do is learn how to make hits. That's the first thing I needed to do. So the first thing I did was be a producer. Because how would I be able to build artists who make hits or like do good music if I myself can't even tell or make good music?
So your goal in the beginning was to be like a JYP, YG kind of character?
Yeah, still here right now. Same goal.
That's great, man. You're very congruent, you know.
Yeah, for 10 years.
Yeah.
But I knew that, like, so actually JYP was a very big influence in growing up, right? Because he had the same mentality of like, I want to start JYP, I want to be an artist. But his is, he want to be an artist, I just want to build the company.
Right.
So he was like, okay, I want to be JYP, but I need to produce my own music because no one gives me a shot. So then he produced the Wonder Girls, made the Wonder Girls, and then that's how JYP started.
Yeah.
So, right, all the way back in 2012, maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
So then my mind was like, okay, I gotta get to that level first, right? Where I can produce like the top acts in Singapore. Because when I can do that, then I know the sauce. Then once I do the sauce, right, then now I can build artists.
Replicate the formula.
With the sauce, yeah. Because without even identifying it, right, let's say I go straight into making a label. But how will I know whether or not this song will be good? Or how this song will be marketed? Or like, you know, what can I learn? I'll fail a lot and I will probably take eons and waste a lot of money doing it. Or I produce songs. I get paid for it, I learn, and I be in the back end. And then these artists, I can train them to produce their own music. And I can train them how to look out for things and like how to make their song sound more refined. So I spent, I think, about the first 5 years learning how to produce and just doing production full time. Right. And I think, and also looking for artists that make sense.
So you work at like a production studio?
I started my own production studios. Yeah,
literally from day one?
From day one, I started once, I failed. Then I started again, and that was at 23. It's called Homeground Studios, which I'm still running to now. Yeah, 8 years already.
Damn.
So I started there, and then I knew that, okay, to make it more sustainable, I needed a corporate job.
That's what everybody says, man. Not just music production, AV production as well. All say corporate, dude.
So that's when I got my business partner in. So he handles the more corporate. And then I focus on like learning how the ropes of how to produce. A lot of it, I went to school for it, but I mean, my third year, I went to intern. I didn't really attend school.
Wait, so your partner is like secure the gigs one?
He finds and he does the corporate side of it. And then I was also helping find and secure my own version of the gigs as well.
So both producers?
Both producers, yeah. So if you want to look at it, I'm more creative, big vision. He's more like...
finance dude.
Yeah, no, he keeps everything together.
So
like, because I
very
move
important,
fast. Man. Yeah, but he slows me down, which is great actually. Because he'll be like, think this through. So I'll be like, oh, I want to do this. And he'll be like, wait. Then I'll be like, okay, I stop. Yeah. So I think like I did Homegrown for 5 years. And then I started, in 2021, I incorporated my company. And I started a publishing company because I don't know if you know Kevin Fu.
No.
Yeah. He used to be running Umami Records. He found Linging and Charlie. Yes.
Wow. Holy shit. Yeah. I know. Okay.
So he was another inspiration. So I asked him like, because he had Umami, and this is like all like crazy Singapore law, right? This is like, if you've been in the industry for 10 years, you know, but 90% of the world, like Singapore doesn't know, right? Is that Umami was the one that founded Linging, Charlie Lim. He had his own studio called Beep. Crazy, this man was it, right? Like he was producing all the top acts also there.
Yeah.
And then he moved on, closed everything down, and he's now like the GM of RCA Greater China or something. Like he's like meeting all these big acts. And so in 2021, I asked him, like, I was like, okay, like at that point in time, I did my song Gentle Bones Better View, right? I did it at the time. So I was getting like 10 million here. Like every song I released was 1 million streams, 2 million streams.
Wait, in Singapore?
In Singapore.
Yeah, I realized something. You know, Hold On BRB?
Yeah, BRB, yeah.
Dude, they also 10 million, 20 million. Right?
Yeah.
But guess what? No Singaporean, no. In fact, their biggest fan base like Thailand, Korea, all this. And then when they go down there, the sellout show is like, wow, insane one, you know. Then I'm like, huh? Why Singaporeans don't know?
Because it's mostly export,
Oh.
right? You cannot, even in Singapore, even if every Singaporean know you, it's like 5 million people.
Yeah.
Next. And then that's including like some foreigners. So if you want to talk pure Singaporeans, our age demographic, 2 million, 3 million, maybe. It's not big enough.
Yeah.
Right. And then just to make sure that, you know, everybody likes you and everybody's got their own, like, I only listen to hip hop, I only listen to EDM, I only listen to this. How can you have everyone listen to BRB and be like, universally, we love BRB? Yeah. So most of the time, we aim to export. So I went back and I asked Kevin, like, if he were to redo it again, what would he do different? He said he would do a publishing company and to protect music copyright. So that's what I did first.
Okay, so maybe you can give us a little bit of explanation. What's that entail?
Yeah.
So it's like quite technical, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
so
I just did my first, because I'm mostly performing, I'm DJing. I'm more of like I'm an artist, not really of a producer. I produce like a side gig. And then I did my first production for Singapore River Festival. And then they say, so how do you want to like sell this? What kind of rights? I'm like, the fuck, yeah? Like so many things, you know?
So
people just want to sell one goddamn song, is like...
Because, you know, when you think of a song, right? It's like you must think of the human body.
Okay.
So like when you write the song just on the guitar, that's like the skeleton.
That is what, mechanical rights.
That's your song, like your publishing rights, your original rights, right? Like your songwriter rights, right? So this is what publishing controls, is the initial idea. Like we control the idea, right idea. The rest of it, the master rights, right, comes from like when you make the rest of it. So have you heard of the Taylor Swift thing?
The what re-recording or something.
Yeah. So like she re-recorded it because like they bought the master rights for her songs, but they didn't buy her publishing rights, like her songwriter rights.
Her idea.
Yeah. So then she could take her idea and re-record it, and then that will be considered a new master.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. That's why she can do it again, because Scooter Braun actually owns all her masters, the old ones.
I mean, Scooter Braun is like the Mojo Jojo, right? In this case, with now the recent hype music. Hype B.
Yeah.
Right. Holy shit, dude.
But it's actually technically what he did was not wrong. Because she surrendered all her masters to the label sold it.
That is also true. A lot of the fans don't know that.
Yeah, but when she did that, right, that's basically publishing, right? In a nutshell, like how we protect your copyright as a writer. And I realized that he's right, because if let's say I want to build a label but I don't understand how this rights thing works because it's very complicated, then how will I protect my artists? So then I did that for 3 years while doing the studio.
So thinking about how to protect your artist's rights.
Yeah, like learning the back end, like, because there's no school for this. There's no.
So you literally need to fail.
I needed to try, I needed to learn on the job, I needed to research. There's no like go publishing course. There's none. So you have to, and especially in Southeast Asia, most of this is very developed in like America and the UK. But let's say like countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, they don't even have this concept. It's new. So it's also not very like well known in Singapore as well, in Malaysia, Indonesia. So there's not much information and people to rely on, right, to go for it. So I realized that this is a big gap in the market, right? And it's also a very big gap in knowledge.
Yeah.
So I needed to learn that. So I learned that for 3 years and then that brings us to
by yourself?
2 years, by myself.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I had 2 business partners, Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jasmine Cho.
Okay.
So he's managers.
Still now?
No, now it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a hard business. It's like how to monetize it. Like how do we monetize rights?
Yeah.
It is very, very difficult, and like I don't blame them. Like obviously there were other things that would like move you aside.
Yeah.
Like things that were more lucrative. Like for him was the army tour.
Yeah.
Jasmine, she started lecturing in LaSalle.
Yeah.
Right. This company barely made any money in the first few years.
Yeah. I feel you, man.
I only figured out the sauce this year.
Oh.
Yeah, like
after
this
8 years,
year,
right? Yeah.
After so many years, right? And then so 2 years I learned how to do that. And then last year was when I felt ready enough I found the right artist named Josh Makazo to start a label. And so my label was, I found this kid, he used to work in this place called Zendel. He was an intern there.
Chua.
Yes, John. All right, bless his soul. We had a great stint there from 2019 to 2021, right? And during that period of time, he had an intern called Josh Makazo. This is his artist name. His real name I will not say.
Yeah.
But met him and he came into my room and he showed me a bunch of songs and I was like, this is kind of neat. But what I didn't know is that he produced everything himself. He recorded everything himself. He sang everything himself. He mixed everything himself. I thought like, oh, this is just some random kid, like, paid some producer and then wants to show his songs.
Oh, damn.
And, like, I used to be very harsh and like, I come from a very like, I used to do the tough love thing a lot. So like I
Because
was
you
like,
kena what?
yeah, right, you know,
Our dear friend Koflo.
yeah.
Dude, I love Koflo, man.
Yeah.
Episode 3 or something.
Yeah.
Super early supporter.
Like he don't, but he like you know the older
Give it to
generation,
you, bro.
they don't give a shit, right? So for me, I just kept doing that. But you know why I stuck with him? Because he kept coming back. He kept showing me songs, and I was like, this is terrible. Show me again, and he just kept proving to me. And then he finished his internship, kept doing it. And I think in army, right, like he just went army. He showed me he was like, my debut album, Gradient, I'm gonna show you. And then he sent me 6 songs, and he was like so hyped about it. And I listened to it, and I was like, this is the standard that you think you would impress me. And then he was like, what the fuck?
Go back and cry.
No, he got very angry. We got a big argument outside my studio.
No.
Like a big ass argument about
Straight up, man.
yeah, like he was like, you don't understand hip hop, you don't understand trap, you don't understand like what I'm trying to do here. And then I went and I told him like, bro, like
This is you 5 years in already.
yeah, this is me like 7 years in already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but before this even I was an intern. Like I used to grow up around Geylang as well. So like there's a chance where like I told you I have one business venture that failed, right? Ex-business partner tried to stab me. I have the police report.
What?
Yeah. yeah.
Wait, can we go into that? Like how? Is it because of like you're very straightforward that created that?
No, so the summary of the story, because I don't want to get into it, right? Because of the report and everything, is that I was at Blue Jazz. I ran into him, right? This guy pulled out a knife that he said he was going to use on somebody else, which was another acquaintance of mine. But since I'm here, he wants to use it on me first, right? But he was very drunk, right? So he tried to pull out the knife and try to move around with it, but he couldn't. And I think at that point, right, my mind was like, how they say when someone, then you fight or flight. But there's also, they don't tell you there's the realization moment where you're like, I'm going to get stabbed. So you start thinking where's the best place for them to hit you so that you survive, right? Especially when you see the knife, right? You're like, okay, so he's moving like that. What if I aim here, but this is my liver? I need that. Like that's what I was thinking. I was like, where do I go? And so
Music producer, logic.
yeah, where do I do this? And then
What the fuck?
in the end, one of his other friends took away the knife. So thank God for that. Especially when I took his knife, and then I was like, okay, just stab me here.
Oh,
So I was like, here,
shit.
right here. When I was younger, I really lived fast that young. I did
Fucking
not
insane,
care.
bro. Your Instagram totally don't reflect that, man.
Yeah, right.
And I know you for quite a while. And you're
Yeah.
quite chill, you don't flame people on social media.
No.
Wow, but you in real life, you're crazy, bro.
Yeah, because
What the fuck?
because this all happened when I was 22, 23. I lived the crazy lifestyle when I was younger. Then back then also I was very into I had a bad stint with drugs also as well. When I was younger as well. So this was all the crowd I was hanging out with, and when you're in that crowd and you're in mindset, tomorrow isn't really a concept you comprehend.
What damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know that in Singapore people also have that kind of mindset,
Yeah.
I thought it's some South Africa, I don't know when's my next meal kind of.
No, as in
right.
you don't really think I can do this for the rest of my life. You think about what am I want to do today and tomorrow, right?
Right.
Then you think about today already is so hard. It's so hard to live today. So yeah, screw tomorrow.
Damn.
What can you do today for fun? So I was living in that very today mindset, and the people I attracted with was those kind of people as well. A lot of us were from bad family upbringing or bad places. So because I had an abusive father when growing up, and a lot of these people do, right? So that's how we all connected. Yeah.
What was
the
turning point?
Huh?
What was the turning point?
The turning point was I think there was one day I was really drugged up, and I went to a recording session, and I was 3 hours late. And this band pinned me to the wall. Right, pinned me to the wall, and then basically told me you are pathetic, you are a loser. We were the only reason why we're working with you is because of your business partner. You will always be a failure, and you will never amount to anything.
Then this is not even hip hop, man.
Yeah, no, this is post-hardcore.
Damn.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And
That's
I
crazy,
remember
bro.
it was in Woodlands at there's this place, I think it was called Analog Vault. And then I was just outside there crying with my hands. And I think at that point, there was also a period of time after that when I closed my first studio, right? Soon after that, I closed my first studio, and during that period of time, my ex left me. It was 4 years because she said, "Oh, you're again same thing. You're a failure. You can't get your life together."
Whoa,
My dad disowned me. Same 1 week. My dad disowned me, and then then my previous business partner tried to screw me over. all in 1 week. And
Dude.
and my ex left. I found out my ex cheated on me also. Yeah.
Damn. Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But nowadays, if this happens, this becomes content, bro.
Dude,
Fuck,
no.
man.
So when people ask
Wasted,
me,
it happened too early.
No, but that's
Fuck.
why I had this.
Yeah.
So I went to a friend's tattoo parlor around here, right? I'll say not around here. This is Geylang, right? So around where's Sim Lim Tower? What's that area called?
Bugis? Sim Lim?
Sim Lim Square. There's all the shop houses there, right? I went there and then he told me
Blue
like
Jazz over there, right?
Blue Jazz is Haji.
Was it?
Yeah, this one is like somewhere else. Yeah, but
Okay.
I told him like I never want to forget like this lowest moment.
So it's a triple bag.
Yeah. So all the three things I just told you, he tattooed it on my arm, and he made sure it was very big and very very painful.
But it's a black line, right? Or is it writing?
Yeah. So you can see right, the first one he made it painful, but I managed to take it. But the second one I started shaking so much, that's why it started becoming like this. The third one I couldn't handle it anymore, and that's why it's so like messy on the top too. Yeah.
But there's no words, it's just like bands and symbolism.
Because it was for me. It wasn't for like I didn't want people to know. Now I'm more chill to talk about it because it's been like 7 years since then. Alright. But like when I first started, it was like such a thing, and I was like, oh, this is the worst day of my life. I want to carry it wherever I go. I never want to forget being nothing. Because this was like rock bottom. I had no money, I had no friends, I had like no girlfriend, everything was gone. Even my own dad thought I was a loser. That was the turning point. Yeah. That was the turning point for everything.
Okay, then who was like your savior? I mean, somebody had to like give you an opportunity to like do something.
No, so that's the number one thing. Like, nobody's coming to save you. When you have that mindset, that's when you start to succeed. I feel.
So, what's your first thing that you did after that?
Got clean, like really got clean. Cold turkey, everything. Like, gave up until now. Like, no drugs, no hard substances, nothing. Not even for leisure or like even like Adderall for like focusing. None of that. Just caffeine, alcohol. And alcohol I gave up for 9 months actually recently. Just to challenge myself. But like nicotine and caffeine, driven by that. Yeah. But that was the point, right? Like I had to really reinvent myself and then work non-stop. So you know Gary Vee?
Yeah.
He was like, you want to change your life? 7 days a week.
Right.
So I just did that.
I feel like Gary Vee a bit too like snake oil salesman. Like after you listen to him for like 5 years,
Yeah.
you know.
But one thing that he said right, and this was also with him and Elon Musk, was if you want to change your life, you just work every single day, 7 days a week, see what happens in a year and see what happens in 2. So I was like, at that point I had nothing, right? So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna work 7 days a week. What's the worst that will happen?
No.
Right? Because I already had nothing. I was at rock bottom. So that's what I did, and I just kept working. Like
working is free, man.
Yeah, working is free, but it was also like a distraction. Oh, because at one point, like I was also very suicidal. Like I think at this point,
After all these things happened.
yeah. So the reason why I say that is that I had this to-do list, right? And yeah, I can talk about all this now because it's been 7 years, and I'm quite like a lot of therapy. Settle it out.
This is like some US podcast level shit, you know.
Oh yeah.
They like just happened yesterday. Hey, you know, yesterday I tried to kill myself. You know that kind of thing.
No,
Singapore must wait until like
7
10 years
years.
later.
Yeah. Like statues or limitations is over. Like no one's gonna come in and be like, you did drugs. Go to jail now.
Yeah.
You know, I think like what I did was I did this to-do list and I said, okay, because I was standing on this like car park balcony and I was thinking about jumping, and I swear to God, right, like I taking out my shoes and everything, right, and then one of my clients messaged me and said like, and this is a real message. I don't have that phone anymore, but he said like, yo man, I know times are rough for you, because you know St. Pat's boys, right? They like to joke, but the line is like not there. So he was like, before you kill yourself, bro. Yeah, I know life is tough, but before you kill yourself, I need the drum MIDI. After you explore for me, right, you can kill yourself, dude.
Yeah.
And he had no idea. They had no idea I was doing, where I was or what I was about to do.
Yeah.
Zero idea. So then I was like, oh, what the, like, you know, I believe in the universe. And so I was like, okay, so this is the sign from the universe that like, yeah, I need to try. So I went back and I was like, okay, what do I owe people? And so I wrote this to-do list, and it's still in my MacBook until this day because I keep porting it over. But I wrote this to-do list and I was like, okay, so after I finish everything on this to-do list, right, I'll kill myself. Yeah. And then that's when I saw the Gary Vee stuff and I was like, okay, 7 days a week. So I'll do that and I'll finish the to-do list. And if nothing changes, I'll just die. Right? The to-do list never ran out.
Damn.
It just never ran out.
Just keep owing people shit.
Yeah, no, it's just because I put in my mind like I'm not gonna like
you keep
say
creating.
no to new things also. Like I'm not gonna be like a defeatist mentality. Like if the universe wants me to die, the to-do list will run out, and then like there'll be no new clients, there'll be no nothing. So then I will be left with like nothing will change. And if this is my life, this is my life. But what happened was as I kept working and people kept giving me gigs and gigs, the to-do list kept steadily growing and growing. Yeah. And it became to a point where like I moved from to-do list to Notion, and I completely forgot I made that promise to myself like at a period of time. Yeah, so like even now also like I was through a lot of therapy that I remember I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to kill myself after I finished to-do list. You know, like when you have a breakthrough, then you're like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that. But I mean, like now I can joke about it. Like mental health is not something to laugh about. But yeah, when you pass that point, and so that's why I had this overarching goal, like. And that was also when I created this goal of like, how do I create this YG, right? And what do I need to do to make it this JYP, YG, SM, and like figure it out from a Singapore standpoint. And it seemed a lot of fun also because I think like, a lot of people are like, oh, you build then you never see it. For me, it's like, well, if I build it, I'll be the first one to do it.
Yeah.
Right, and then people will follow. And then I think for me, my goal was always like, you know how when you tell people like, oh, you do music. Your aunties, your uncles.
This is exactly why I created this shit, man.
Yeah. Like, and then like, cannot, that chick, don't, like, got future or not?
Yeah.
And so someone asked me, right, I think when I was 22, will you ask your kids to do music? Right. And I was like, no, fuck off, no way. And that's when and then my mom was the one who was there. And then my mom was like, why not?
Oh, damn.
You know, like, then I was telling her why. I was like, oh, because there's no industry, there's no all these infrastructure. Then she's like, you kind of sounding like, my mom and I are very close, right? So she talks to me like I'm a bro, and she was like, you kind of sound like a bitch, right? You're just whining about all these things, but you're doing nothing about it. Then like if you're doing nothing about it, then don't complain. That's her mindset. Like she's like rough single parent, like oh, gonna get me through my roughest years. This woman tahan me when I was in like doing the drugs and everything. Heart carried my ass. So like yeah, so like she just said that and it's like, okay, bet. I was like, Ken, I'll do it. Like let's see how hard this is. Let's build the infrastructure. So then I started. And like I would say maybe I'm 20% there after 10 years, 25% there. Not anywhere close. But like
it gets exponentially easier, right?
No. Wow, you just realize the more you think you learn, the more you realize you don't know.
But you build more partnerships, right? That eventually can kind of like. Yeah.
But I think like that's the fun part, right? Because like, you know, most people say like, oh shit, then like you think you know about this about publishing, and then it expands, and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, oh, there's more?
Yeah.
Okay, great, let's go figure it out. And like, oh, there's more to this music production thing. There's more to this publishing thing. There's more to this label thing. That meets the eye. And then also figure out what I want to do. You know, like my goals now keep changing. So like, do I want to actually build this JYP thing anymore after 10 years? You know, like trying this for 10 years. But have I built an infrastructure to like show people that it can be done? And yeah, I feel like I have with what I've built so far. The next generation now, they're like, they see like what I've done and they're like, oh, somebody can do it. And I didn't come from like, oh, my mama and papa gave me like $2 million, then I built all this. Like I built everything from the room in my room. Like that's it. Like that's all I did. There was no like big investor to give me $1 million. Until now, I haven't taken outside investment in any of my companies whatsoever.
That's the fear, right? Yeah. I also feel like if you take outside investment, you need to take their opinion, their suggestion, and sometimes you might not want it, right? Then wow, shit, stuck already.
Yeah, there's that, and then there's also like who would want to invest in music? You know, like with Singapore, we've got tech, got finance. Then they're like, what's my return? What's my ROI? And then I cannot say passion, you know, for the scene. It's such a dumb thing to pitch.
But at the end of the day, aren't you just creating another record label?
I think right now what I'm creating is just another record label. The goal is there. Right now I'm still just distribution. I'm not a record label whatsoever.
Is it like Believe? Kind of something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Like Believe. We're under the Orchard actually. Yeah. So like it's like but I do like distribution plus, which is I advise the artists, right, on how to make their music, how to get it, what markets to target, right? But I think along the lines like building a record label, definitely that's the goal, but it requires a lot of money. And so that's what I'm trying to save up now and figure out, I think. And then like figuring out also like how to combine everything I've learned. I think that's the new challenge for the next 10 years. Because the first 10 years was figuring out what it entails to be a record label, what entails to build an artist. I think the next 10 years is how do I build the system, right? Like, I don't know how to build a system yet, but I was just figuring out what needed to be in the system, you know? Because you don't really know. Right.
With so many people like demonizing the record labels, right? How are you gonna like make it different from, let's say, a Sony, a Warner, or a Universal?
No, just be demonized. It's okay. Look, that's why I wear all black. No, it's like you cannot do anything and not expect to be hated. So like, I've talked to a lot of people who worked in labels. I understand why they're demonized, but I also understand their POV. Right, a lot of the demonizing comes from the fact that they run it like a business. But then, as artists, you know, you do it for the art. But honestly, it needs to be a marriage of both.
Yes.
Right, because if you don't have like the art side of it, then it's kind of like manufactured dog shit. And if you don't have the marketing side of it, and all you have is hidden, like, you know, like just art that's hidden. So like you need to marry both. But obviously the marketing end of things, they're like ROI, KPI, and then the artist is like, dude, I just want to make song. Right? And so this will always clash. This will never blend. I get into big arguments with my artists, right, about this all the time, where they are like, why you care so much about the money or the KPI or the ROI? And then for me, it's like, because I care whether you eat.
Yeah, then you can continue doing this, man.
Yeah, and then if you want me to expand your team, right, you guys want to make more stuff, right? You guys want more members, right? Who pays for that?
More Jasmine Soko level music videos.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're like, where does that money come from? Like the sky? Like,
yeah, correct.
Right.
I find myself saying that a lot to my old team. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So that's the but it needs to happen, but when that happens, right, like you gotta be like a boss about it, right? Like you gotta tell them no means no. Yes means yes. You gotta do things that you don't like. And I think the one thing I'm trying to do to mitigate the hate, right, the demonizing, is to inform and educate artists that like, yo, this is a job, right? People wake up at 8, they go to back work like home by like at 5, right? You gotta do the same thing, right? And you gotta learn to embrace that. Some days that's what you gotta do as an artist, right? There's the administrative, there's the rights, there's all of these business things you got to take care of. Your finances, the expenditure, the P&L, right? While also being creative.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, welcome to today.
Yeah, right? And if you hate it, then just go work 8 to 5.
That's what I also say, but that's why I get hated. That's what I always say. I was like, oh, but if you don't like this, right, no one's forcing you, just leave.
Yeah.
And then the people go like, oh, this Jason. Have you seen what he says? Wow, messed up. So, yeah.
But that is like coming from a school of hard knocks and starting from the bottom, from creative to become executive. And I find myself in that position as well. So would you say you are more creative now or you're more executive now?
I think...
Are you at a 50-50 juncture?
50-50 juncture. Yeah, like I've learned how to like separate. Like if I'm coming today just to create, I'm coming to create. And I'll tell every administrative stuff like, don't touch me today. Like I'm not replying you because I need to settle this. Urgent. If you need me urgently, call me. Alright, but if not, I'm just gonna produce, because I still do produce for artists. I still do produce for like corporate clients, and I still produce for like Chingay. Yeah.
I mean, YG also does production now once in a while, right?
Yeah. So
it's crazy, dude.
So it is possible, right? But you just need to learn to segregate. So I think like that's that. But I don't really like the executive stuff, to be honest.
But
yeah, like just gotta do it.
If you want to do bigger and more exciting stuff, you have to suck thumb, man.
Yeah, that's why I told my artists, and like that's how I am, like that's how I train them also. It's like, you think I want to be like this? I hate it, but I'm doing it because someone has to do it.
Yeah.
So you also need to do it because someone has to do it for you.
Because there are certain artists, right, especially in the K-pop industry or pop industry, right, they are totally fine, right, with relinquishing control over their everything, their masters, whatever. They just want to be creative. They just want to be a star. They don't
and then
care
what
about...
happens when they go big?
Then they complain,
Why everything? So you see, you're right. That's why I think like you need to learn to manage both, and it needs to be like a marriage of it. But when you do that, right, like there's no way that you come out not being looked at as an asshole.
Yeah.
Or like as a money-minded person, or as like, because ultimately what I believe, right, if when people come to you and they say like, oh, you only care about like money, like instead of the craft or art.
Yeah.
The reason why they say that, right, because ultimately, right, they don't like that you're right. That's what I've learned.
Yeah. It's like those people that don't do their homework.
Yeah.
And then when you do your homework, then they're like, start shitting on you.
Yeah.
Actually, I just recently saw this video, right? It's an old video lah, but I saw someone reacting to it. It's can you rank yourself from stupidest to smartest, 1 to 6?
Oh yeah.
Then there's like one PhD, another one is like multiple degree, another one is a high school graduate, right?
Oh yeah, the army guy, right? Yeah. I saw, yeah.
So it's like, I feel that the education system, right, or any system kind of create this like it's not really, it's more like self-enforcing belief. Like at first you were thinking like, hey, actually getting a degree is not important. Then after that, right, you grind your ass off to get a degree, right, to realize that it is like not relevant in today's day and age, right? But then you still advocate for the degree because of what you had to go through. And then you view other people that didn't get a degree as stupid.
Yeah. Because the ultimate thing is then you have to admit that I think like you wasted
I wasted my time. Yeah, it's a damn tough pill to swallow, man.
It is.
And I got a degree and then I just think about it, I'm like, oh fuck, dude, So I had two fucking problems. One is the cold flow thing, but I was told by my army friend. The second thing is I got a degree, and then I'm just like super bitter now. Yeah.
I personally don't think that a degree is a bad thing though. And it's coming from a guy who didn't get a degree.
Okay.
Like the grass is always greener on the other side, I feel. One thing that I had to do is that I had no safety net. I have no safety net.
Yeah.
Right. So like
all or nothing, man.
Yeah, it's really put your whole soul into this, and even if you stop and you think like this is not the life I want to live, well, too bad, you got no degree, so you committed to this. So suck it up, soldier, and just gotta power through. There's no time for you to doubt. But as with a degree, you have that, I would say, privilege of like stop and like, if I ever don't want to do this anymore, if I ever get tired of this, I can go and get something else. It's a good and bad, you see. Like some days I really love that feeling of like, oh my god, this is like I've worked like the longest I've worked is like 90 days straight. Like on the 90th day, right, you're just like, I just want to kill myself. Like I'm just done. Like I just want to like stop this. I want to get a job, but I can't because I don't have any degree.
And for creative, it's like sometimes it's like it doesn't work. Then it's like 90 days in a row, and you're just like, now what,
Yeah, and then now I'm just a loser, right? And I can't go and quit this and get a job and like relax for a year or two, then recollect myself, and there is no luxury of that.
But then I see a lot of my friends that has degrees, right, or like my classmates, right, they'll try to do whatever they try to do for like a year, and then they can't do it, right? They're so scared they should go back, so they never amount to anything.
No, good and bad, yeah. So like there's good and bad to it. So like I would say that because it also depends, right? Like what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do like what I did, which is no degree, right? Which I do give people advice. Like I said, I do tell people like it depends. You got to think about it when you're 20 actually, and it's the first hardest decision you have to make. For us guys, great. Actually, honestly, I'm a big advocate for serving your NS because it gives you time to stop and think. Right? When I said like, because a lot of people don't realize that 20s, right, early 20s is when most of your major life decisions, right, that can affect the rest of your lives are made. Right? Whether you spend the rest of your whole 20s, right, just clubbing and hanging out, or you spend the whole 20s working, right? At the end, right, when you're 30, right, the difference between these two people would be crazy. But the decision is made in those 2 years you're in army.
And when you are the most immature,
Yeah.
So it's like, wow.
Yeah. So I always tell my friends like those young artists, right, or young kids also, I'll be like, yo, just do army and stop and really think. Don't just be like, I just come here and then I said, oh, nothing to do. I'm like, great. Really think what you want to do with your life. Yeah. And then go do it. Because I started Homeground Studios, and I shouldn't be saying this, but I started Homeground Studios in army. I decided I wanted to do it while in army.
Maybe just conceptualizing.
Yeah. Conceptualizing that, okay, I want to commit to this. I'm going to do this. And my mind was, I'm going to do this while in army, and this is sustainable. After I leave army, I won't go to uni. So I had those 2 years to slowly like figure it out.
I went to the website and then I see like various services like voiceover. How do you like voice? You link up the voiceover artist, right? You don't do it yourself, lah.
No, that's MJ's. My business partners, like Kingdom. That's why I let him settle.
Okay.
Yeah, so he handled most of that. So we split the services up. Yeah.
And then like when you think about like I don't know, what kind of shareholders are you? Are you guys 50-50 clean cut or what?
About there.
About
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. The still majority is me because I started it, but he's like close second.
Right. Yeah, because all these like uncomfortable conversations has to be at the start, like profit split, whatever, how much.
Oh no, for me it was that because when we incorporated, MJ was working with me for 4 years. So we have this like unspoken brotherhood. So for me it was like, you take like literally as close to my percentage as possible, or I'm not okay with that. He knows this, so like he knows I would die on a fucking spot for him. And I know that he would do the same for me. Like he's got my back through and through. We've been working together for 8 years.
Yeah,
So,
not easy, dude.
Not easy.
And I've also started a few things, failed, and then working with people is difficult, man.
Tell me about it.
And someone can stay with you 8 years, dude. That guy is your girlfriend, bro.
Yeah. I would say, right, that's my most successful relationship. He's seen me through all my relationships.
Oh, shit.
All the girlfriends and all the exes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So ironically, the most successful relationship is the one I have with him. But this is why for me is like, I think percentage of the company doesn't really matter to me. Right. What matters is the brotherhood and like the bond and like the trust. Right.
For insiders lah, but when you talk about outsiders, then you got creative differences and blah blah blah.
Of course. Like this one is, but we had the privilege of like, we worked together for a few years already.
Right.
And at that point, the trust was there, which is then we cooperated. I would say at the start, but even then we also have like very robust shareholder agreements, like that we got our lawyers to draft up in case it falls apart. So I'm not stupid also, and I will encourage everybody not to be dumb and just be like, we brothers, bro, don't need any agreement. Because you're brothers, you should have a very, very clear agreement that you spend thousands of dollars making, so that you can continue to be brothers. So that's what we had. So that's why I think with him working together, it's been very, very easy, right? Because we already have everything settled, and then we're like, okay, we don't think about this anymore. Now we just do the work.
So why did you leave the EDM industry in the first place?
Why did I leave? Oh, I was just producing EDM for fun. Like I wasn't in the industry. I wasn't a DJ. I wanted to be, but I think like my calling was the artist. I cannot play an instrument to save a life. Trying to now. I can key in. I'm a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, a lot of producers are making the biggest bangers. Like, hey, shit, I can't play anything, man. I know what sounds good.
Oh, I would say I attribute that to insecurity, raging insecurity.
Just trying.
Yeah, because you feel like you're like lesser than everybody. So then you really overthink all your productions. And that's why I feel like a lot of the producers that cannot play anything, they are like really creative. It's because they have no choice, but they have to be. Like we have no choice. Like I can't play anything. So like I have to come up with better ideas, or I have to make sure that my product is even better than everyone else's. But how? Alright. So I feel like that's why a lot of these banger producers, they don't know.
Wow. It's really tough, man, in this industry. Like, do you have a sense, right, that like pop producers or people within the live music industry kind of view like the EDM world as like less capable? Because at the end of the day, right, I always see this like age-old like discussion when like kids are in music school. Hey, your ear training, whatever, you know, this scale, that scale. Can you hit the drum at this like 3-4 time or something, whatever. You know, they have that kind of like technical, they're like grilling each other. But EDM people is just like, you know, we don't even know in key or what. We just like, sounds good, can edit, you know?
Yeah. But okay, for me personally, I think there's no, I work with very musical people who have perfect pitch, and I also work with people who don't know what the hell they're doing, like including myself. Right? I have in between, like I can tell, I have the theory, I studied it, but I also usually go by feel. Right? Like, but I know why it feels good. Right? I can break down the theory of it, but I'm not perfect pitch, so I can't tell exactly. So I wouldn't say that like people look down on. Right? It's just in music school, it's with every school, like egos clash. So like that's why you hear them all, because like everybody wants to be better. But music at the end of the day is subjective. No one's better than the other person. That's my personal take. Right? EDM is EDM, and I've seen all these people who shat on EDM, try to make EDM, and I laugh because it doesn't sound as big, or it doesn't sound as banging. There's no there's no soul in it. There's no like drive. I don't want to move. It's like, but this is EDM one. They're just playing like a 1, a 4, 5, 6, 1, and then like just put that chord, then put this, then put the white noise. Then like this EDM one. Right? I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't slap. Yeah, like you're not hitting it with the wrong like 4 compressors to make it sound like it's squashed to hell so that it slaps. You're making it like, yes, the theory is correct, but there's no the wrong is not there. There's
this
no
is the pop producer interpretation of EDM. Yeah, man. Wow. Slap, compression, squash to shit is the key word, bro. Wow,
but I think like the thing is like, so you have musical people who don't want to make EDM. I make EDM sometimes, like so I have songs where I produce EDM. I also have songs where I hire other sessionists and I sit with them and we think about how to theoretically make a nice ballad. Like both, because I appreciate both genres. Like my first concert ever was Switch Mafia.
Oh damn!
First concert ever, the final one last tour in Singapore.
And it's fucking epic. And then also Swedish House Mafia is also making pop music and shit. It's like a full circle moment.
But the thing is like EDM is all about feeling. So that's why I don't think you guys need to know theory. Because it's like, how do I feel at that moment of time? Then like for a lot of music like ballads, right? It's about like how do you create the right chords to get the feeling out. Ultimately, at the end of the day, both about feeling. So it's like, I would say music not that deep lah. It's not that complex. People like to make it more complex than it actually is.
I like how Skrillex interpreted it. It's like, I'm just the most blessed guy. My job is to play MP3 files. But the main performance, right, is the crowd. When the crowd moves to whatever that is being played, right, that scene, right, is the performance. The music is like secondary. Like how does a DJ, right, know what song to play next to keep the crowd energy going and when to dip down the crowd, right? Because there's obviously a point, right, where if you just keep playing banger after banger, the crowd's gonna be like, dude, I'm tired, I want a cigarette. Right? Then you lose the crowd, then ciao, right? So you need to like, okay, slow down, I can catch my breath. And then you bring up the energy again. That in itself is an art form. Right, and I think like anybody but okay, again it goes down to ignorance. It sounds so simple, right?
Yeah, because it's not that deep. But people like to make it more complex than it is. Like with a lot of musicians, right? I think for them, right, like because of I don't like music schools because it breeds elitism, right? Of like I need to know these chords, I need to know everything. It loses the core element of music. Which actually, if you go way back, right, way back to when music was created, right, let's go further back than this, because my father is from Bhutan, so you go back to like villages, right, and you see villagers playing music. They're not playing music like to like, when I play this music, I'm playing like the major, and then when you go back to why music was created, it was to express a feeling, right, and like when you go to music school, that feeling is lost. Instead of like, I play a major 7 to this chord, to that chord, because this creates that journey of feeling. It goes like, I can play a major 7 at night at 11. Wow, look at all these technical. And then when you listen to it, it's like, but what are you trying to like, make me feel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you, and a lot of times when you go to music school, you ask them that like, okay, so you can play a major 11. What's the story you're trying to tell musically, like emotionally? You will see, trust me, you ask them that, they were like, huh? No, it's just so technical. But when you ask them something as simple as this,
regurgitate the textbook.
Yeah. But then when you ask like somebody like EDM, right, a producer, why is it like this? Oh, because this is when the crowd goes down and then I need to build up, and then like the crowd goes crazy here. You see, you know what I mean? And then when you talk to hip hop kids, right, they're like, bro, it's just slaps, bro. Like, fucking like, I want the crowd to bounce here, like this is where the hook comes in, and then I want the crowd to cheer, right? So like the feeling is there, like every music, like mainly music is about the feeling, and that's how I carry my productions actually.
I think that's also the reason why singers like Tate McRae is quite successful. Like her first song was like You Broke Me First, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just like a super raw vocal, like wow, you can really feel like she like fucking heartbreak, right? And like no added sauce.
Yeah.
It was so raw.
Yeah.
And then it carries the emotion better, than something super polished. Because most of us technically cannot sing, and then that's how we will express ourselves when we are having a heartbreak, right? And then we can like super relate, and that's fucking well.
Yeah, because like I think like people forget, and so this is how like I built like Josh, right, where he went viral twice on TikTok, and Ranga Jones also went viral with his song Infatuated. How I advise them to make music is, can I feel anything from it? So Josh had this song called Half My Heart, and this is the song that made me start my label, right? Because I heard it, And he was like, you know, like, oh, I know this is a banger, but I'm not really sure how to refine it. But like, I know you're gonna like it. And I heard it and I went like, this is perfect, because I felt everything you're feeling. Because this song was about him saying that he realized he's still in love with his first love all the way until now, since he was 14, and at that point in time he was 19. And I felt it like in every performance. I could hear like there were notes where he cried inside. You know what I mean? Like it was like wrong, right? Yeah, I mean like the production is like so simple, so basic. He made it in one night when he was in his fields, and he was like, okay, you know, this is so simple. It's produced. Like, I recorded it in one night, and then this part you can hear me cry. And then I was like, oh, shall we record it? And I was like, no. Don't you dare change. He tried to change the production 3 times. Every time he told me, I was like, you're ruining it. Stop. Don't do anything to it. I will just mix it properly. I'll master it for you, and that's all you need to do. Like, don't record anything, don't add anything to it. This is perfect, because at that point in time, what this is to me was a snapshot into how he was feeling at that moment. And I told him like, this song will change your career. Like, just change your life. And he was like, no lah, bro. No, Jason, no. Then I was like, no, trust me, because this, to me, what I felt from it is like a snapshot into how you were feeling in that moment. And this is what people resonate with. It's genuine, it's raw, and I don't want to refine it, because I want to keep that, right? That emotion, that rawness to it.
Yeah.
Right. And people resonated with it.
Isn't it a little bit the same as like New Jeans' initial, like during their oh my god, that era? I think you can kind of feel that like innocent school girl vibe.
Because they were innocent schoolgirls, right?
No, but there's so many. There's eyelid, all this, you know. Then it feels very manufactured. You get what I mean? Like there's a difference. Yeah. Everybody try to copy the New Jeans template, but somehow it's like
because I think that's genuinely what was her name, the CEO. Like
Min Hee-jin.
Yeah, Min Hee-jin. It was her brainchild, and she was very passionate about it.
Yeah.
So she handpicked them. She knew what she wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so genuine, because it's from her place. Like, she wanted to create this. Eyelid, we know that it's just hype going like that works. We just copy and paste.
Yeah, man.
But you lost the source, which is the soul, which is her.
So that's why I'm saying, like, are you gonna create just another label? Because I don't think you are in that trajectory, right?
I think it depends, because I don't know yet. Because maybe I one day will want to be like, just create.
Just make money, bro.
Just create products, idols, right? But
copy paste.
Yeah, copy paste. But I think like at the same time, right now, where I'm leaning towards is like freedom for the art. But that in itself also has challenges, right? Because like not all artists are like, to say it nicely, like not the brightest bulb on the tree. So sometimes they do make stupid decisions when you give them too much control.
Especially when they're younger.
Exactly. So like, so then maybe the easier way is to just control them for a bit, and then when they're older, give them back control. But then you see, that sounds a bit like messed up. That sounds, it's a bit like idol already. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but then I think if you like put this as an initial clause, right? Like they sign up for it, then and they know what they are getting themselves into, right? Then it's fair deal. It's like how JYP is being complimented. Right? Everybody said JYP treat the idols very well.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because technically that's what most of the idols that are in K-pop industry, right? They are aware of what they sign up for. Yeah. They understand that
the country knows it as well.
Yeah.
Their
like,
parents.
Yeah, you know it's a shit contract.
Yeah.
So like when you sign up for it, then like, you know, like that's why all these like rampant rumors of like mistreatment, right, is usually like swept under the rug. Because everyone knows that like at this point, you know, when you sign up as an idol, you're gonna get treated like shit. And if you sign up for it still, like how are we supposed to pity you?
You already, man.
Yeah, you already knew that this is what you're willing to trade off. But I think like for me, I'm still trying to figure out what's the way to do it, because you know Singapore's unique also. Like, can we even build an idol like culture here? Like, can we even build that kind of like how we're gonna do it? So a lot of it in Singapore we have to deal with I take a lot of inspiration actually from outside of music, like with like tech or finance or even like trade. So like right now what I'm looking at is export. How do we export our music out? Because that's the only way to make it in Singapore is to literally get your music out there, right? We're looking at like Regina Song, who blew up, but her major, like the biggest market was Indonesia. Yeah, it's not even Singapore, right? Then you're looking at like Josh also blew up with America, Ranga blew up with Thailand, right? So it's like, how do we export these people out, right? I think that also is another complicated thing, because in Korea they just need to figure out how to make it cool in Korea.
It's quite big already, you know.
Yeah. And then after that, you know, then how to export. Things like that is it already sustainable inside. then export out.
And people like David Guetta will be like, hey, I want to reach some of that K-pop fans.
Yeah.
Let's collab, bro.
Yeah, because K-pop now has spread all the way to America and UK, right, and the rest of the world. But in Singapore, we start with export. There's no make it sustainable in Singapore because that's impossible, right?
So for anybody that's starting out, right, how would you like encourage them to like export first? But you can't, right? Because like you're Singaporean and then go to like Thailand, nobody knows who the hell you are. So, you know, so it's like almost impossible, right?
So my advice for everyone who starts off now, right? Last time, you get all the, like, this is the real advice, right? You get all this, like, just keep working hard. Like, keep working hard. You got this. Everything's gonna be all right. Right? Like, believe in your music. I'm just gonna say straight up, make music, just promoting on social media, marketing on social media is everything, and pray.
And then what?
Pray.
Pray, right?
Pray, yeah, just pray.
So that means just fire out as many bullets as possible.
Correct.
You don't have to make one quality Adele level.
Yeah.
It's about numbers, right?
Yes.
At first.
Yeah, at first. So like Alex Hormozy said this best, right? It's
oh
like,
my god, you watch everybody I watch, yeah? It's crazy,
yeah.
Layla, fucking insane.
Alex Hormozy said it best, right? It's like you want to strike the lottery, right? And then like every time you post about your music, every song you make is one ticket, right? So imagine right now I gave you infinite lottery tickets, right? But you just need to only
You still will win somehow.
Yeah, you want to file in every day one ticket, right? Yeah. So what are you doing with your music? Like it's the same thing. Like every day just keep making and keep posting and then keep making and keep posting and eventually you will find the right sauce. But you gotta also be smart about it. Don't just make and then post and then make and then post and then don't analyze what did well, what didn't do well.
Yep.
Right? It's a long process. Like even for me to get where I am now, right? Like a lot of people think like, oh, okay, Homeground, like NSA, No Sense Allowed, my label, and then like, oh, we came out of nowhere. But people forget that I started this at 18 when I cleaned the studio, basement studio in Golden Mile. I started cleaning studios to learn. And then I started my first studio and I failed. And I started again. And I did just producer for 4 years. And then I started producer and publishing. And then 2 years after that, then I started label. And then now the label looks like a fast success. But it needed 10 years before that. And then when I started label at 28, 10 years of like me learning everything and failing so that it could just take off in 2 years. Yeah. So then if you think about it that way as an artist, right, then technically you start at 18, right? You should be working at least 10 years, right? And trying and failing. And then seeing what works and what doesn't work. And to be honest, I might not have the sauce, right? Some new kid on the block might figure it out, right? Like, right? They might figure out how to do all of this. Some new like version of me that is like 14 now. Right. In 4 years' time, he might come in and he might like dominate the entire industry in a heartbeat and figure out how to export everything, create his own version of Singapore New Jeans. I don't know. But I know that if I keep doing what I'm doing, this kid that eventually will come and take over me, which is be the exciting part, right, is he's gonna use me as a reference point. Right? And he's gonna learn from everything I failed at. And then he's gonna take that and he's gonna exponentially grow. So that's how I think about it, right? And for us, right, when you were asking at the start, how does it feel knowing that everything you built would just be for somebody to like build off of? I think, right, like that's dope, right? Like everything I'm gonna build, some kid's gonna look to and be like, how am I gonna to beat that? But then if we think about it, right, what did we do when we were kids? We also went to ask these old like lao jiaos, hey, what do you do? Right? You ask like your friends, you confirm and ask all the old DJs, right? How you guys do it? You know, how you've been playing around, how you've been like building this.
Yeah.
Right? Same for me, I went to ask Kevin Fu. He's been doing it way longer than I did at that point of time. Right? And then I built off his knowledge and his experience or his failures. And so some new kid's gonna build off my knowledge, my experiences and my failures. Right? But unlike most people, I'll be damned if I'm gonna let them take over me. Yeah.
That's why.
But because
the Kevin Fu thing is like, hey, you all learn all my secret, man, while I become some other shit, next level. Yeah.
But you see, like that's just what it is, right? And like ultimately, like I know that I might not do this for the rest of my life, right? And neither do most of us. Like we might eventually have to move on to like, maybe now I'm 30, so a lot of introspection, a lot of like realization. When you're 20, it's just go, bro.
Yeah.
Sacrifice your 20s. By 30s, you're thinking about family. You think about slowing down. So I think like we have to think about the kids also, right? Like maybe now it's time for the new 20-year-olds to figure it out. Like Josh is 21. I was joking with him the other day.
Damn young, man.
Yeah, I was telling him, dude, if in 6 years' time, if I have a kid, settle down, get married, everything, right? you will not even be my age. I literally, I was like, you will not even be my age. You will still be 3 years younger than me. I said, like, do you know how fucking crazy that is?
Yeah.
Like you will be carrying my son, and you will not be as old as me.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I said, like, that's the power, right? And like, I can't compete with that. Right. Long term. So that's why we built. Because eventually, what I want is that son he's carrying, what he builds, and then the person after him builds. One day, my son will be the one to benefit from all of that. And I think like that's what drives me to.
But
continue.
so many of the older cats, right, are afraid of being replaced. What is your solution to that?
Replace lah. No, really, like.
What you gonna do, man?
Because okay, they replace you, right? It depends on the level that you are at, right?
Right.
And you gotta see it as like levels to this game, right? So if you get replaced at this level, it's because you're not trying to level up, right? Let's say you're a DJ, right? And you've been a DJ for like 20 years.
Right.
And then now got a new DJ on the block.
Right.
And you're like, shit, why he's replacing me? Like also then think about it realistically. How long can you also just be a DJ?
Right.
Right, at this point, 20 years, you start at 20, you're 40. Like motor skills, maybe, you know, if you have a kid, then like you're gonna go to like Marquee and play until like 4 a.m. and go to bring your kid to know, right? So you gotta go above that, like manage DJs, right? Or like, you know, like manage nightclubs. Like use the experience from 20 years, your connections you built, right? To build careers, and then you maybe instead of being like a DJ, you are like you manage like 4 or 5 DJ schedules. You take 20% from each DJ, right? Now you have an income. Right? And then they can keep expanding. Now you build a team with your experience because you can't keep doing the nightlife thing. Right. And so these DJs can replace you, but then you evolve and then now you manage them. And that's your next step.
Yep.
But if you just want to DJ for the rest of your life and that's all you want to do, right? Then obviously you'll get replaced, right? Because just based on age, right? You're gonna get slower. It's gonna be harder for you to keep up the drinking, the nightlife. Yeah. Right. So then you gotta evolve. And if you refuse to evolve and you get replaced, then that's why they're afraid, because they don't want to adapt, they don't want to evolve. Whereas if your mindset is very like, I will evolve as the time goes by, you would see replacement as like eventuality.
Inevitable, right?
Yeah, inevitable, right?
Yeah, but so many people don't really want to do the business, they just want to do the art. Which is no wonder they just want to be the singer for the rest of their life, they just want to be the artist, the DJ for the rest of their life. They don't really want to like evolve, because there's no point when you evolve. That means you're doing something you don't like anymore.
Yeah. I will bring back this mentality. This is what I would used to say when I was 20, when I was younger, which is I also want to live in the beach in the Maldives and just enjoy every single day.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like this is real life. Yeah, like dreams are dreams, and like yes, the dream is to just make music every day. Wake up, drink coffee, produce music. You know, then go eat lunch, produce music, and then go sleep. But that's not real life.
I mean, like a Rick Rubin, right? Is he still doing that?
Oh no, he's just advising, right? He's just an advisor.
So now he's like executive producing.
But there's only one Rick Rubin.
So
like the audacity to think
that
I will be Rick Rubin is a bit like, that's
so
why
you either be fucking good or you level up.
Yeah, so if you want to stay in so the alternative to my philosophy is, and this is something else that somebody, when I was talking about this, right, brought it up to me, which was, then you just gotta excel. You gotta excel beyond
the
like,
Tiesto.
Yeah, like so high level, right? That even if they try to catch up, right, that you keep working, right? So and this is another mentality, because this person was saying that that's how I still produce even though I do all these things and I'm still like in the game. It's because I keep working so many hours, I keep working at it, right? And I keep producing and I keep going. That because I've already done that for 7 years, from 23 to 30. And I've done the 12 hours, 7 days work weeks, right? Like all my exes will complain about it and will tell you about it, right? And then so I built this level of like experience. And then this new kid comes in and she was like, okay, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna work 7 days a week, right? I'm gonna do the same thing as you did. But then I'm still doing it. So even if he does 7 days, 12 hours a week, right? But I'm also doing it now at my age, right? So it's still, he's not getting any closer. He's still further behind. And he's just gonna be like, how the fuck is he doing it? How am I gonna catch up to that, right? Like I'm working so much and he's already doing it. Because they when they start off, I'm already 7 years ahead.
Yep.
And then the thing is, right, I could even slow down and work 40 hours a week. And he will still need 2 years to catch up, maybe closer, break the gap. So his mentality was just keep excelling, right? Keep pushing yourself, and to the point where the gap is so wide that nobody can keep up unless they are God-gifted, like talented genius.
Or AI is invented.
Or AI is invented, yeah.
So just now earlier you were like saying like something about like record labels are banding together to prevent AI from destroying the industry, right? Could you give us like a little bit more detail about it?
I think okay. So when with AIs, right, making music, there's algorithms behind it, right? That's how
You're just basically taking 500 samples of whatever to make a new song, right?
Yeah, so they're taking like certain things that they have pre-programmed to like certain keywords, like for example, make me a sad song. There are only a certain level of prompts and a certain level of variations that these prompts can trigger out. Right. So like this is a finite number. It might be an illusion to think of it infinite, but AI technology is not there. So you can kind of guess, right, how many songs and what prompts will come out from it. So I think like what the labels are trying to do, right, is to make sure that you can't just make an AI song, record over it, and then just release it. Because then what if someone else writes the same prompt and then these prompts generate these songs and then you choose the same song? At this point, so whose song does it belong to?
Yeah, precisely.
Because technically it belongs to the AI, what? Because you didn't write it, and I didn't write it. Let's say we both go on to, was it Sona?
Sono,
what's the program name? But you get on it and we both write, okay, you want to write EDM song, I want to write EDM song. So we write EDM song, inspiration, Tiesto, trends, 2018 to 2024 banger, right? We write the same prompt. And then there's 10 generated songs. And then somehow we both pick song 6. And then we take the exact same song and we just recreate it. And so it's exactly the same chord progression, same idea, same everything.
Right.
And then you release and I release, right? Let's say you release first, I release second, right? Then you sue me because you're like, hey, Jibai, you take my song. And then I go, hey, but I take from Sona. And then I found out you also, which means that you must also take from Sona, what?
Yeah.
Right? So then at this point, right, you're going to sue me, right, for your creative, but it's not yours. It's not mine. So I think the companies are trying to say like, this is going to be a problem. Right? Because this can happen. Because like all these programs, right, they're not at a level where they can generate for you, right, an infinite complex different song.
Yeah.
Right? The same results are going to be different. There's no way to confirm that.
And maybe they give you 100 songs, maybe only 3 sound nice.
Yeah.
Then most people will just pick one of the
same
three.
Yeah. So unless you write a prompt, right, where you're like, okay, I've written the entire song lyrics and I know this genre and I want to mix this many specific artists in this key and this, all right. And then
harder.
Yeah, but you see, if you can write the lyrics, you can get the artist reference.
You can fucking produce the song.
Yeah, you just produce the song. Yeah. Then in the end, it's really like, oh, might as well produce it, right? If you're going to do that much work. So I think like for AI, they're just scared that, you know, people start having conflicting. There are a lot of fights about whose song is whose. And then also like, because AI doesn't create new songs. They technically take from other places and they put together. Right. They're not like creating something new. So there's also the fear that everything's going to sound the same. Right. Like, if I asked AI to write a hip hop song right now, would they know how to make a West Coast beat? For sure. They'll know how to make a West Coast beat. But if I wanted to make like a West Coast beat meets the East, the AI will be like, who has done it before? And if it's not done before, they won't know how to make it.
Yeah.
So good and bad, I would say innovation would be at its peak, right? Like with this, right, the same, like maybe the era of trap, remember the Migos?
Yeah.
Will never happen again because everyone sounds the same.
Yeah.
But I think like it will push music to be like Tyler the Creator, right? Where like it's like or like Porter Robinson, Lido, right? So for the EM side, it's definitely Porter. Like it's like new age. What is this? I've never heard this before. Right? That's why it will push it towards. But then like a lot of artists that create like the same thing. Like honestly, David Guetta, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same song.
The template, yeah.
It's the template, right? These kind of artists will kind of fade out because it doesn't work anymore. But that's my take on AI, and I think the labels will try to like shut it down because you know you don't want it to kind of like flood the market in a sense.
Are you like designing your music and your production with that philosophy, like creating the weird, unreplicable kind of style?
I think like I wanna say that I try to do that in everything I do, but obviously there are some songs where I just like I'm not as creative as I wish to be, right? But I think with a lot of stuff I did for Bones, right, that album, like I wouldn't put a finger on what I did because I took ideas from like Bring Me the Horizon and Love, like post-hardcore and pop, and I combined them all into one song, right? Like I'll put like, why is there a saxophone solo in this song? I don't know, because it feels great, right? It's a song about like don't kill yourself, right? And saxophone's like triumphant, so I wanted it there, right? Things like that, like I feel like irreplaceable. Because you can AI out a song and it'll sound decent. But that's where if you want to get like
Stay.
like Justin Bieber Stay.
Yeah.
Like that kind of song where like if you put it, the only thing really memorable about it is the top line.
Yeah.
Right, the melody.
Yeah.
That's those kind of songs will kind of devolve, and you will have more of like Tyler's new album Cornucopia.
Yeah.
I think that will be what's, and I'm quite excited for that.
Yeah.
Or Kendrick's new album GNX, right? Like it's very like not normal hip hop.
Yeah.
Right. Those is what's gonna come out.
What do you think about like sicko mode, where one song that has three different tempos is like,
correct.
Is that like weird?
Yeah, and like AI might not be able to figure out how to make something like that, because when that came out, even I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That those are the things I think will happen with AI taking over, right? But at the same time, I don't think like it's the end of the artists. I think it's just the end of artists who don't evolve. Right? Music has always been a very tough sport. It's a very tough game, right? Where like you have to keep adapting or die. Like I remember in my era when I first started, can you imagine when I first started, we were talking about iTunes sales. Like, oh, you know, like when I was an intern, this was like, like 10 years ago. Only 10. Think about it. Only 10 years ago, we were like, okay, how do we get the most iTunes pre-sales? Not iTunes streams, iTunes sales. Like sell the CD for 99 cents. How to burn into, like how to sell the EP CDs. I go to her, and the MacBook got CD-ROM slot. Now I go to a kid and ask them, right, what's a CD? Do you know my nephew, right? You know when we answer phone, it's like, hey bro, answer phone, right? My nephew goes this. Yeah. My nephew's 10. He's only 10.
A lot of US variety channels, they also like, they ask people how they listen to phone. All of us are like that.
Yeah.
But they are like that now.
They're like, hello? Right. And then you're just like, yeah. So like within that 10 years, right, like I had to go from like iTunes sales, CD sales to Spotify streams, figuring out the Spotify algorithm, watching that not work anymore and that keep changing, right? Watch the rise of all the different streaming platforms and then watch the fall of all the streaming platforms, right? Like all of that happened within just 10 years. And like a lot of producers fell off because it's like so much. Can you imagine like, okay, I figure out how to do CD sales. We don't use CDs anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck. Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to use Spotify. Oh, but there's Apple Music now, and there's Tidal, and there's like KKBox, and there's like QB or whatever nonsense, like Diesel, right? And then like you're like, oh, okay. And then now they're like, oh, all these streaming platforms don't pay. So now you gotta figure out how to use Bandcamp. And like, what the hell? Like, and then now it's like, oh, YouTube comes in. Like, how you gonna monetize that? And the game keeps changing. And every year you wake up and there's a new part to the game, right? That wasn't there before, right? And then now there's AI.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Right. And so I feel like this is a very hard career path, and like I would not wish upon a lot of new kids on the block when they ask me like how do I do it, right? I say if you ask me that question already, you're not gonna make it. Yeah. I said like you don't ask how, you just do. And you try your best. It's like I told them like it's like a roller coaster ride without the safety harness, and you can hold on to the seat, right? You're just hanging on for dear life. And how long you can hold on, right, before you're flung out, right, is how good you are.
And the seat might fly out.
And the seat might fly out,
Even though you hold on very well.
The track might disappear also.
Yeah,
you don't know. And I said like, but I told him like, it's not a life for everybody, right? Yeah, maybe you get it, you're in music. Sounds very relatable, right?
But I was just talking to Kate Tanya, one of the voiceover artists, and then she said, the main thing in life is fuck around and find out.
Oh yeah. I think it's the kind of life, right, where like, you don't know what tomorrow brings.
So your job right now is to help artists earn money, in a nutshell lah.
No, all of it.
Yeah.
I help artists earn money is one part of it. I still produce music. I still publish copyright. I still get synchronization. So like your Netflix shows, if you like...
it's basically get business opportunity. How to make a living for them. The 360 package.
Yeah, but without being a label.
Yeah. It's like more like manager.
Correct, yeah.
So how do they even make money now? You cannot do Spotify because it's like so minuscule. You get 10 million views, how much?
No, you can, but you gotta figure out how to market it.
Okay, from streams?
Yeah.
What?
Both my artists, Josh and Ranga, are self-sustainable with streams alone.
Damn!
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay,
it's a business,
10 million views, right? 10 million plays on Spotify.
Yeah.
How much does that give you?
10K.
10 million is 10K.
10 million
it's not
10K.
1,000 views, 3K.
A million streams is about 3K depending on country. So a million streams in Jakarta is 1K. A million streams in US is 3K.
Oh, okay, then in Singapore should be even higher.
Singapore is about 3K. It's 3K SGD, 3K USD in US, 3K SGD, then 3K in, you know what I mean? Like, you take in the different country, like all the different like
because I thought it's
conversions.
harder to reach a Singaporean audience. That's why it's per 1,000 views higher. It's like YouTube.
So it's about how much the person, like you and I, pay Spotify. Then they count the rates based on that.
The subscription.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's why Jakarta is cheaper because
the
the income level is lower, so they charge cheaper for Spotify.
Okay.
So therefore they pay less per stream. But then in US, you charge like 19.99 USD. They charge us 19.99 SGD. So one US stream is more than one Singapore stream. One UK stream is more than one Singapore stream.
Also,
but one Singapore stream is better than any like it's worth like 3 or 4 Jakarta streams.
Yeah, so it works differently from YouTube because YouTube is from ad spend. So apparently, right, in Singapore, if you get 1,000 YouTube views, it's like $6. But if you get 1,000 YouTube views in US, it's 3 only.
Yes.
Because our GDP higher, so we spend more on ads, but then we spend less on Spotify subscription.
Yes. So the game, let's just say it's very complicated. And
so let's just say you get 10 million streams on average is around 10K lah. But then that's just one time 10K, right? Not recurring income.
So you build. That's why what I do for them is I build longevity with the catalog. Right, they like release the songs and then obviously make sure the song is good, the song is genuine, the song has connection, right? So people keep coming back. So I don't go for like trendy songs. I go for songs that have meaning. Because why? Because that relates to like, do we sometimes go back to listen to Adele?
Yeah. Yes. Which is like damn hard, right, for EDM because EDM mainly bangers.
Yes. Right? So EDM is the only exception to this rule and is the reason why I don't sign EDM artists. EDM is trend chasing. Yeah, EDM is trend chasing.
That's why you see Tiesto, Armin van Buuren, David Guetta, one song a week every day.
Yes.
That's how they.
But EDM, I would suggest a different strategy, which is marketing. It's all about marketing. It's nothing about streams. It's all about marketing and playing shows and touring. Yeah, so then you change the business model. So it depends on the kind of artist you are. Like,
so you earn more from shows.
Correct. Like my business model will not work for hip hop.
Okay, hip hop is more on merch.
Hip hop is more on shows, touring, merch, definitely.
So the same as EDM.
Yes, very similar to EDM, right? But it depends because like it depends on the hip hop genre also, because there's the harder one called conscious hip hop, conscious rap. That has more longevity to it, but like that's very hard to make it because you gotta.
Is it like J. Cole?
Yes, like Kendrick is conscious rap. Yeah, Kendrick is very conscious rap. J. Cole is very conscious rap. Drake is basically clout chasing. It's a trend chasing. So that's why you see Kendrick can disappear for 5 years, come back, boom, millions of streams. But Drake must release every year.
Got this guy that he go on the stage, then PMS, then Chow at Coachella. Shit, what's his name?
Playboy Carti.
No. Hip hop one.
There's so many. There's so many at PMS.
Right.
There's like,
and he never write songs for very long already. Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean. But he's not hip hop. He's R&B.
Is he rapping? No, right?
He's actually more of my model, which is songs that you keep going back to. Because he has an album called Blonde that I still listen to this day.
That's why 5 years he don't need to do anything.
Yeah, that's why it depends on the business model you're looking at, and like how I look at it is just that like when I ask an artist like, what do you want to do? And so then the artist would tell me like, oh, I just want to produce. I just want to make music for fun, right? And I'm like, okay, if you just want to make music, you don't care about shows, you don't care about this, then Frank Ocean is the kind of artist, and this is the kind of art you need to make, and this is the kind of like route. And I know the business model. But what I would do to them is, I wouldn't tell them any of this because this will ruin it for you. If you're an artist, right, and I tell you like, oh, be like Frank Ocean, this is the thing, right? Then it's gonna get to you. It will fuck you up.
So you just let them do their thing.
Yeah, and then I handle the back end.
Then you see what kind of amplitude they are lah.
Yes, so I will talk to them and get to know them, and once I get an idea of kind of artist you are, then I will know the strategy I need to put for you, and then I'll apply that for you. But I won't tell you what strategy I'm applying, because if I do, then that's all you will think about. And then that ruins it for me, because like how will I be able to create a Frank Ocean when he's trying to be Frank Ocean?
Right.
Yeah, then he'll try to make Frank Ocean type music. And then it becomes less genuine. You see how it becomes like
because I'm thinking about like touring as a DJ, right? Like when I was younger, I was like romanticizing touring. But then the thing is now you have so many DJ vlogs, David Guetta vlogs, John Summit, James Hype, and everybody's just dying like, oh fuck, this is my 4th day in a row. And then I'm like, what the fuck? That's like so fucking shag. Isn't there like a hybrid model where you can make like classics, right? and then just tour maybe like 5 times a year, like a Calvin Harris,
Yeah.
you know? Calvin Harris is a great example.
Yeah, Kevin is a great example. Yeah.
Like a hybrid, right?
But you see, like, if you want to do that, right, then you gotta do the work to digest, like, and like figure out. So I've done the work to figure out these business models because, like, my artists are based on these artists, right? So I will do the work to dissect. Okay, this is how this artist works. This is how my artist is like. Okay, this is how I marry the two. Right, like Josh is one artist, and then these are the references I'll put for him and marry the two. Ranga is this kind of artist. This is the kind of artist I think works for his style. Marry the two. Right, and this is what I do. So my strategy for Ranga and my strategy for Josh is completely worlds apart. And if they try to they have literally tried to talk about the strategies, and Ranga has tried to follow Josh's, fails. Right.
So could you like go a little bit on like what are the strategies like?
Okay, so like Ranga he's doing pop, right? So like I won't go so in depth, but like pop R&B. So his strategy would have to do more with around like the emotion of love. Like he's a very positive guy. He wears a lot of bright colors. So I would need to find artists that have a lot of like love songs, like like Pink Sweats, right? Things that I go back to, like Love, right? And I will use that as my reference point to why is Love so big, and what makes me go back to his songs. These are the kind of things I'll look for in Ranga's music, and then I'll put it out. Josh is very about heartbreak. Josh is about pain. So I need to find artists that have a lot of pain in their music. And like what scenarios that I paint myself to go to this? What do the fans do? Like for example, Weeknd. Why is the Weeknd so popular?
Wow, number ones, yeah.
Yeah, right. But why do people keep going back to his music?
Yeah.
What? And then go watch all the YouTube videos, the breakdowns of the albums. Take that, dissect down, squeeze out all the juice, right? Put it on Josh.
Okay.
And it works.
But what if they one day don't feel like making sad or happy songs respectively?
Change the strategy. No choice. Welcome to being an artist manager.
Yeah, you really must base on their mood, right? And then because if they don't feel like it and they do it right, wow, then the product will be like half fucked, like,
Yes.
And people can tell one.
Yes, people can tell. People can smell it a mile away. So that's why I always say like, it's not as easy as it sounds. Like it's a lot of work, and then they might just after the end you do all this work right for a year. Then at the end of the year they might be like, actually I found a girl and I have.
You should be single for 4 months.
Dude, I just been Okay. Let's do it again.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but I personally enjoy it lah. Like I think like it's fun to like. I think the reason why I do this is not for the money. I think I do this is because like it's always gonna be different. Right? There's never an artist that I work with that's gonna be the same. Right? And like because I do have friends who are very rich. I do have like connections to people who are very, very, very loaded. Like we're talking about 0.0001% of Singapore. And I've seen what the ability of money can do for you. And like the ability, like crazy enough, like can you imagine like I go to a room, right? This is Chanel. This table is Chanel. The ashtray is Hermes. I don't even stuff my cigarette into the ashtray because the ashtray is $5,000. And I'm not gonna stuff my cigarette, my 20-cent cigarette or 30-cent cigarette on a $5,000 ashtray. And everything on the table, right, is branded, right? And I meet these people, right, and the first thing that you always comes out of their mouth, right, is how bored they are. Right? And they have all this money in the world and they can buy anything they want. Like one day wake up, I want to buy a Porsche, they can. I bought a Porsche, they can. Right?
It's crazy.
But when they talk to me, right, I think the excitement is like, what they get excited about is like when I tell them like, I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow or next year or 5 years from now, but I'm figuring it out.
And they're like living vicariously through you.
Yeah, and they get very excited for that because for them it's like, they know what they're going to do tomorrow. Whatever the fuck they want to do. Right, like, but where's the fun in that? Like, if tomorrow I'm going to Milan, if right now I gave you right $1 billion, right, and sure you'll be like shocked. The only reason why you think shocked, right, because you never had $1 billion. But imagine your entire life, you can buy anything, you can do anything you want. Then what do now? Tomorrow, what can you do? Anything you want to do. Then what's fun? But there's no like anticipation.
I always say that there's this rich kid look. Like the eyes is like half closed. They're like they're sian about everything.
It's actually true and sad. I feel personally because like them, it's not like, oh haha, you have everything, you're a loser. It's more like they have everything, right? So they don't know what it's like to like earn it, to like hustle and like almost lose everything and then break through and then grab it at the last second. And you're like, right? Like it's like they just wake up and they're like, today I want to eat steak. Okay, but then like there's also a highest tier to this, and I think that's the saddest part for them.
Yeah.
There's no higher tier than that for them because what I do after I buy a yacht, buy a bigger yacht.
Hunger Games and shit.
That's what I do after I get the yacht. You know what I mean? Like what I do after now I got the yacht.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do anything to do it. I just tap a card, got the yacht.
Yeah.
Now what? Like it's like eating a kopitiam. You don't go like, wow, bro, I get to eat a kopitiam, bro.
Which is why I see a lot of them, they start to like bring people to this kind of experience, and they are happy when their friends are happy. It's like, oh my god, like you are happy just because of this small little thing.
Yeah, but because I think for them, right, it's like when you go clubs, you see them why they buy tables and everything for people, right? It's because like getting the people there, their time is something you can't be bought.
Yeah.
Right. And so like one thing that they I feel like that's why I learned, right? The strongest commodity we'll have is time.
Yes.
Right. And so that's what I want to spend my time doing is like, I just don't want to know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't want to know what's going to happen in 5 years. Like whenever there's tarot card reading, you ever go for those fortune teller tarot?
Hey, but it's damn popular in Korea. They can actually set up a store and make money from there. Yeah.
Like, all these girls, they want to do like, I want to know what my future entails. I always tell them, I don't want to know. They're like, why? Because then if I know, then boring, dude. Like, I already know what's going to happen. If you asked me 7 years ago, right, what I know where I am today is where I'm going to be, I would tell you, fuck, no.
But that's also contrary, right? Because you are technically the planner.
Yeah.
You're the mastermind, right? You're supposed to plan all the shit for your artist.
Yeah.
That your artist technically is the YOLO one.
Right.
But
you plan, right, so that you can like try your best to achieve what you want to set out to do. But whether or not it works out to that level that you planned out is different. Like I have done plans for Ranga and it has flopped. And then I have done stupid ass plans that had no, like his variety in Thailand, unplanned. Just, bro, this is the old strat. I'm busy. Just use the old strat. Post whenever, I don't care. Like, just fuck it. We've already filled 2 singles, right? What's the worst could happen? Goes incredibly viral in Thailand. No plan.
Yeah.
You see, like it's like, oh, what the hell? Or you could have like Josh where we plan and we're like, okay, we do this strategy. But we had no idea what post would go viral. We had, okay, this post will go viral. This one can, but that doesn't work. And then it was this random ass post that he did. Maybe he came out with on the day itself he posted that blew up. Right? You plan so that you can get as close to it as possible, but at the same time, it's a lot of luck and a lot of random choice. Like nothing goes according to plan, but you still plan so that you have an idea of where you're going.
Right.
So it's like an oxymoronic state that you have to exist in. Yeah.
So if everything is just a numbers game, right? People are just simply not releasing enough. But then again, it comes to the problem where there's too much junk online. Yeah.
So it's like a balance, right? Okay, you have like, you cannot release every week. You release every week, you're flooding the market with shit. It's terrible. Right? So you have to plan out like, I have to make these songs really good. So what I always encourage is you write a lot. So you do like, if you want to release 12 songs, you write 24 songs. You pick the best 12. And then from the best 12 you pick, you release this year only 6. Every 2 months. Yeah.
Wow. So you already finish. Then wouldn't your song be kind of outdated? But then again, you don't produce trending songs.
Yes. Yeah, that's why you don't produce trending songs.
That's the fucking beauty, man.
Yeah, because if you produce trending songs, right, then you gotta do, then get it out, then do, then get it out, and as fast as it's out, it's as fast as consumed, and as fast as left behind.
But do you think that EDM artists can produce non-trending songs?
It depends. Like, I mean, like, I still listen to Clarity. Why is that?
Oh yeah, man. Dude,
right?
Fucking banger.
It is possible, but like, it's very hard because it's scary.
Because you secure shows, right?
Yeah, and you're going against the grain. Like, when I first came out with this concept, like, I believe strongly in albums, doing albums for artists. But in 2020, right, the Spotify singles game from all labels was do singles.
Yeah.
It's just really singles.
Yeah, like Chris Brown, Amigos.
Yeah. Can you imagine being the only guy in 2023, right? 2022, telling everybody, don't do singles. Do albums. People want albums. Like, people
but for your genre, lah.
No, even, this is pop people telling me to do singles. Other pop artists, other pop managers, other labels are like, just release singles.
Yeah, lah, because
they
they're
put all the
chasing
singles
trend,
into EP, right? Because that's why they say it makes the most money. And I said like, no, the audience wants albums. Because until this day, right, like when you talk to normal music listeners, Taylor's releasing an album.
Yeah.
You don't go like, Taylor's releasing a new song. Yeah. Like Billie Eilish has a new album coming, bro. Right? Or like, like you hear that statement more than Billie Eilish has a new song. Like, how many times have you heard that? Yeah, a few. But every time people go like, yo, have you heard Billie Eilish gonna drop an album this year? Like, Weeknd's gonna drop an album again this year. So I was like telling them like people want albums, people want concepts, do albums, and everyone was laughing me out of rooms in 2022 when I first started my label. And then I started with Josh where I proved like albums are it. Because the theory and the business of it makes sense. You singles bring the most playlists on Spotify, that gets the most streams. And then when you do album songs, there'll be songs that don't get playlisted. Right? So it's just a waste of money because you gotta invest time and money into that. So what I told them is, well then, don't think of it as a problem. So what I do to like counteract that, I found an artist that produces. So now every new song costs $0.00 to the pocket because the artist makes everything. So he can make his album, which is free. Now, technically in production, I can mix and master. I'm free. So now we can do the album for free. Right? And all we need to do now is just make sure it's artistically like proper and like it makes sense. So this is why a business model that cannot be replicated by any other label unless they have what I have, which is a producer like me and an artist that can produce also. Then they can replicate our model. But that was the only solution to what we were trying to do.
But when you release an album, that means you don't drop singles. You have a 6-song album, just singles. The whole album.
No, do singles and then release album. But then the album has a lot of songs that are not singles.
Okay, so how many you release? Like you release 3, then you drop album.
Yeah, so like
12.
Josh had an album called Gradient that was very successful, right? What we did was we dropped like 5 singles or 6 singles, and then 6 are released.
Every week. No,
every,
2 weeks.
Every 2 months.
Every 2 months, 5. That means you drop 1 year, then you drop the album.
Yeah, in November. We started in January.
Oh, that means the song in January all done already.
Half the album was done in January. The remaining half was done by the time June came about.
Okay.
Yeah, then we're just refining. Yeah, and then we replaced songs and everything. Like he kept replacing songs in the album. So the version of the album I heard in June and the version that got released is very different.
So he 12-song album.
A 12 song and then became 15. 12 or 15? I think
but
15.
In the bag, you have like 30 songs. Then you choose the best 12.
He had like 20.
Oh.
Yeah, 20. He had 15 first, and then he wrote 5 more. And then out of the 5, 3 were good ones. So we replaced 3 from the album that fit the storyline better. Right, and then after that, we did a deluxe version of the release.
What's deluxe?
We add more songs.
Oh.
Because there were more songs he wanted to put inside that I cut
okay.
from the initial album. Yeah, and then we just kept releasing and until now, I'm still telling him to do albums.
But do you sell albums?
No, so we released the whole thing on Spotify. But people they like to discover. So the fan favorite song from his last album is actually a song that was not released as a single. It's called Miss You. And if you're a Josh Macazo fan, right, every time you meet like Josh or me, they'll go like, bro, my favorite song is Miss You. Right? And it's got 500,000 streams on Spotify. No playlist.
No, wow.
Organically.
Damn.
Yeah, and this is everyone's favorite song. In fact, to this day, right, they still clown me for not making that a single. yeah. They still clown me for it. They're like, dude, Miss You was so goated. Why the fuck is it not a single? But that's why albums are so sick.
So you don't release just the music, but you also release like an artistic concept and everything around it, the marketing. So when you drop an album, what other plus do you add onto it?
What do you mean?
Like sources. Do you just drop the album art? That's it, or?
I think TikTok and social media like Instagram to play into the mood of the album, the storytelling for sure. But other than that, no.
Music videos?
If we can afford it, but not necessary. Like the craziest part was Ranga's Infatuated music video shot by his girlfriend. Right, so we had an hour's music video that me and my business partner, we put our heart. Josh, everybody put our heart and soul into it. You should look it on YouTube. It's so high end. We got Abundant Films doing it. Director Sal invested money into it. It was crazy. The quality was insane, off the top, right? And then it only had 700,000 views. Ranga.
Do you pay money to boost on YouTube?
No, I don't.
Or just organic?
Yeah, I refuse to.
Wow, 700,000 organic views. What the fuck? Dude?
Because here's the thing. If you play money to boost, right, for me, right, it's like it shows. It's very easy to tell the illusion because the likes.
And you cannot tell whether is it really good or not. Right, at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I try not to. Like if it's 30,000, it's 30,000. At least you can organically know it's 30,000.
Right.
But Ranga did this song called Infatuated that went viral in Thailand, right? The music video, right? His girlfriend and him shot free. So his girlfriend is a photographer and videographer. Went around vlog style. They edited it together. 7 million.
Damn. Then the high quality version, you do 700k. What was the difference? It's like a director cut and
it's a music. It's just what resonated better with people.
Oh.
Like
but how
that's
you
where I learned.
do A/B testing? You post both.
No. So they were very far apart. All within this year. But I think like for me, it's just that taught me that music resonates the most. Right? It doesn't matter if you put all this money into a song or like into a music video. Like you can be as high spec as you want it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it is just to aid the storytelling of the music. And if the music is good enough, people will just watch the video.
Right.
It doesn't have to be great as long as it tells the story.
Right.
Yeah, and that's just really it. So that's why I say music videos to us is if there is budget for it, if you have something to say. And so my rule now is, do you have something to say? You got nothing to say, shut up. Just don't say it. And if you have nothing to say for your music, right, then don't release it.
Yeah.
That's
not
what
worth the expense also. Right?
Correct.
And the effort at the time.
Yeah, like for me, it's like if you do music, right, you gotta have something to say as an artist, right? And if you got nothing to say, then like you're just releasing like soulless, empty products, right?
Yeah, and with AI, they can do soulless stuff already.
Correct.
Shit, you can't beat them.
Yeah, and you just always sound the same. So I think like for me, like the philosophy of my music and what I try to train the artist to do is, like I always there's something in the song I was like, what's the story? What are you trying to say with your album? What if you cannot think of an album concept, then you're not thinking your art, you're taking your art seriously. Like you're trying to conceptualize this feeling into a body of work for experience. What experience are you trying to give to a listener? What are you trying to do for me? Because when I produce for my artists, right, that's what I do for them. Yes, I might not know the best chords. Yes, I might not know what's the A major flat, whatever nonsense like this. But what I can try to do is create this world for your fans, and create this like environment where I can go in there and I can immerse myself and lose myself in this world for 3 minutes. Right? It's like a show, right? But for 3 minutes, I create this auditory world for you to lose yourself inside. I think that's what a lot of people lost when it comes to money and the music, and something that I'm very grateful I have not lost until today. Like a lot of my biggest songs, right, when people ask me how I know like Better With You or like A Day at a Time, or when I did like Tired, vocal producing Tired and mixing that for Soko, right? Like how did I do that? And I said like when I was there, my main mentality was, how do I create this world? Like how do I tell this story for Soko when she wanted tired about social exhaustion? How do I what vocal sounds do I use to show how tired she is? Like I was playing with distortion, I was playing with like stomps, right? Like when you're angry, you're like I don't want, right? You stomp your feet, right? Right. So that's why in the song you're like tired, not because of my sleep. No sleep, right? It's like a kid.
Right.
And I wanted that like level of like playfulness from the song. Like all this is to play into that. And that's why these songs do well. Right? Because they're soul. And I think like a lot of artists a lot of labels, they lose that for like, oh, you need to make another TikTok hit.
Right.
And then when it doesn't work, they try to make Ice Spice lah.
Yeah. But what are you open to like remixes? Like EDM, right? Is always like DJ Snake, he releases a new song and then they get like 20 people to remix it to spread the are you like a fan of that concept? Because it's not adopted in the pop world, right? Especially.
No, I'm not a big fan of that, right? Because like it depends on what you're trying to do it, right? For I would say like I will be a big fan of that if a DJ wants to do it, you can do it, right? But for your sets, right?
Or you're not gonna release it official remix.
Yeah, because the official remix era was when EDM was big. This was when Beatport was around. This was 2012, 2014, right? But now with the way it is, right? Like it doesn't really work on a marketing standpoint anymore, right? Not unless EDM makes a hard comeback, like what hip hop is doing now, right? Making a hard comeback. EDM hasn't evolved as a genre in a while. It had Slap House for a bit.
Yeah, I mean Slap House is like okay, everything sounds the same,
Yeah. But I would say like it depends on what kind of music also, right? Yeah. Because if it's an idol group, like let's say I'm doing like Dollar from Malaysia or like Elite or like New Jeans. Yes, I'll do official remixes.
Why? What's the difference?
Because it's a product game. It's a numerical game.
Oh, volume.
It's a volume game, yeah. So I'm trying to reach out to the biggest market possible. And you're not consuming art. No K-pop art, like I would like to believe, and I might be wrong with this, and I might get a lot of hate for it, but I would love to believe, right, that no K-pop fan goes in and is like, you know what's art? Armageddon by aespa. you know what I mean? Like,
what the fuck?
I would like to believe like they are aware that they don't go like, you know what is such great art? Drama.
But then funny enough, right, a lot of YouTube video directors say that their music video is a work of art.
Yeah, the music video, right?
It's fucking insane.
For sure, right?
Yeah.
It is crazy. It is art, but like I'm pretty sure that none of them like the music. I'm not saying the music is trash. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that.
But
the
it's
music,
different kind of music.
like they know in terms of soul wise, right? That these singers didn't write this song. Like they didn't make it. It's not like theirs, right? So like you know what you're buying into. You're buying into a culture, into an idol, like a full fantasy, and like that's the beauty of it. And that's what they're selling, and that's what you buy into, right? But they're not gonna be like the greatest artists in the world, like Taylor Swift, Frank Ocean, The Weeknd, Bruno Mars, aespa. I love aespa, and I love aespa for what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for amazingly talented women, right? Singing and dancing, and great visuals. Great music production, great. I love all of it, right? Like I eat up everyone that releases.
They can do variety show and it will be entertaining.
Yes, but I'm not gonna come in and say that like these are like Bruno Major type music, right? These are the songs that are like BGs that I'm gonna listen to when I'm like 40.
What do you think of the Rosé's latest release with Bruno?
Or Abathur.
Yeah.
I have such a controversial take. I hate it
Oh.
because I know what it is. It's a cash grab, right?
Right, but then the thing is, all the Blackpink, right? They individually come out with their own single, right? I feel like Abathur is like the most less gimmicky one if you think about it.
Really, I thought it was the most gimmicky.
At first I thought, but then it's like, it's like you're you know, like I don't know. Imagine a Singaporean singer make a Pepsi Cola 1, 2, 3 song.
Yeah, no, but that's the gimmick, right? The gimmick is the selling the game.
But it's like the culture, you know, it's like, hey, I'm taking it back to my roots. You know, it's like how hip hop, you know, they talk about the Bronx and the shooting and shit.
Yeah. But I feel like if that's what she wanted to do, right, then why with Bruno Mars? Think, right? That's what I always tell them, because there were arguments like that whenever I say like Abathur's gimmicky is like, oh, but you know, it's going back to Korean roots. Why is Bruno Mars there? He's not Korean. You know what I mean? Like then that usually gets them going like, wait, you're onto something. Because if it's about being Korean and my roots, why put Bruno Mars inside? You just do the song yourself. If she had done Abathur herself without Bruno Mars, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
It's for the roots thing. But then when you throw in Bruno Mars there, right, you know it's a gimmick. And you know they want to bring this Abathur culture to the Western hemisphere. And that's why they have Bruno Mars inside.
I mean, that's the reason why the government pumped so much money into K-pop in the first place.
Correct. So you cannot tell me it's not a gimmick.
Hello?
Which is why I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would not deny it is the most catchiest song I've heard in a while. I absolutely love it. Like as what it is, but like I hate what it is at the same time. Like I love it for like the vibe, but I hate that it's just a gimmick. Like I know what they're trying to do. Like nobody's gonna listen to Abathur and be like, you know what's the song of the summer? Like when I'm like really like imagine that you're really happy. You're not gonna like 10 years from now, you're not gonna be like Abathur. Right? You're not gonna be like, yo, you know when I'm just like I just need something to like bump my fist to Abathur, man. Right?
I don't know, man. Maybe 10 years later I can answer you that. But like right now it's like, you know, I'm thinking about songs like Lose Yourself, you know, the kind of Eminem classics, you know.
Yeah, they're not gonna be classics, and like I mean, but who knows, right? The Gen Alphas are the ones to decide. But like for me personally, it would not be that level. Like how many? Like I mean, I could be wrong. It could be like Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
Right, like back then they were like, oh, this is trash, but now it's like, don't you wish?
Yeah.
Like I could be completely wrong, but like
they sing Despacito to their kids to sleep.
Yeah, but it's like Despacito, right? Like you're not gonna be like, you know what's my favorite song? Like nowadays, I listen to Despacito when I'm in the gym. Right, like no one goes that and says that anymore, right? But we're also not in Latin America, so we don't really know what's the vibe there. But I think it's quite fun. Like Abathur and like what they're trying to do with K-pop, it is for what it is product, right? And that's the beauty of it. They don't hide from it. They know what they're selling, right? And we know what we're consuming. I think that's the beauty of K-pop, right? But when it comes to like that's why, but that has a different market by itself. That needs huge money. That needs a lot of investment, a lot of like sparkle, like glimmers, like oh wow. Right.
Because at least for EDM, you're just spamming music.
Yeah.
But for them, everything is on steroids. They need to like dance classes. They need to go to variety show. They need everything.
Yeah, need training. You need to sing and dance at the same time. So because that's what you're doing, you're manufacturing a product. And that's okay. I think personally, that's okay because you know what you are and you know what you're making.
I think eventually when they become solo artists, right, then they probably will focus more on your kind of business model. Probably.
I think so. I'm not sure what their business model is now for Blackpink especially.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
Like with Lisa, then Rockstar, then saying Moonlit Floor. Like that's a very
Yeah. She's like going back to her
but
product base, right?
Yeah, like that part confuses me. But then like you got like Jennie with Mantra, I love that. Like that girl energy is so weird. And then you got Rosé coming up with an album. But you see, even Rosé does an album. And 2 singles then drop album already. 3 days from now, I think, or 2 days from now, they should drop album. Like even I think for me, Rosé is the most musical of the bunch. Because she's already got an album ready.
Yeah.
Whereas the other two, I mean, we don't know when they're going to drop.
I mean, see her lead singer days, you know.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
she's like just carry, man, hard carry.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if you ask me, Rosé is the most musical. Despite what I feel about Abathur, I would say that she's the most musical.
Yeah.
And Abathur was a great marketing and business choice
For the album.
Yeah. And that's what you gotta do. You see, like that's what I mean. Again, you see someone like me and someone like an artist will never marry. Because maybe to Rosé, the first song she wants to release is not Abathur.
But
You
the
never
label.
know. But the label, the marketing guy could be like, you gotta trust me, it has to be Abathur. This will take over the world, then you do whatever you want after that.
Yeah.
No one will care about the song you want.
Then the second song is like literally a ballad, right?
Yeah, and no one care, right?
Yeah.
And you don't see anyone going crazy about it,
Yeah.
right? But you see, that's why it
But
has
the
to marry.
residual views are still there.
Yes.
Thanks
so,
to Abathur.
Yes, so you get it. But you see, like, whoever said the Abathur thing in the ballroom, she confirm fucking hates the guy. She confirm fucking
But
hates
he's
the guy.
right, dude.
But he's right, and then that makes her hate him even more. But
Yeah,
he's right. He's right. And like, that's why like it has to be it has to be thought out, you know. Like that's why I've given up. I used to, if you asked me 2 years ago, I'll tell you like I'm trying to figure out how to make like everything blend nicely. Now I'm just like, fuck it, treat me like a demon. Like hate me, please just hate me. And like if that makes your life easier. Because I think at this point, right, like
We just make maximum money for both of us.
yeah, because at the end of the day, right, even if you hate me, right, my intention is pure, is to make you money. Make sure that you're okay. Like my artists, right, we might get into like disagreements, we might get into arguments, but you know why they're my brothers? It's because they know, right, even when I say all these things, my number one driving force is to make sure that they're fed. Make sure that they have sustainable careers, make sure that they have money for their kids and money to keep doing this.
Yep.
And if that is where my soul is at and where my heart is at, then sure, I can say all these fucked up things, right? But you know why I'm coming from. And I think it's the place where you're coming from that's the most important. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you wouldn't sign an EDM artist, right? But if you were forced to, right, what would your very unique strategy be? Because I think you wouldn't manufacture an EDM artist like the current strategy, right? Which is like throw and spam, right? Yeah. How would you create this artist?
So, I mean, there are two models, right? You have Mern, right? Which is you create an artist, and he goes to America and he tries to make it, right? That definitely is a model by itself, right? Where
That is more singer-songwriter style, right?
yeah, that's Mern, what he's trying to do. Or if you're trying to, like, it depends on the DJ, right? Like, if I have like Nash, right? DJ Nash, then it's about touring. It's about shows in every country, every club, booking it non-stop, like getting shows on the road. That would be the strategy. It depends on what the DJ wants to be. You see, if the DJ is a producer like Mern, then you have to go more singer-songwriter route, right? And then you do the tours, and it has to be targeting the Western Hemisphere. But if you're more like a DJ, then you have to do the club circuit, right? You have to hit the clubs. You have to hit the Malaysian clubs. You got to hit the Indonesian clubs. You got to hit the Filipino clubs, the Thai clubs, the Viet clubs, right? The China clubs. You gotta hit all the clubs non-stop. You gotta be like, bro, I don't want to hit a club anymore. No, bro, you gotta keep going.
Until you get to US.
And no, you don't even need to hit US.
Just whole Asia.
Whole of Asia. That's enough because like, here's the thing. Every DJ, how my artists work out is everybody's trying to hit the US. I'm not trying to hit the US. I'm trying to hit Southeast Asia.
That's very
because,
new, right?
Yeah, because, okay, everybody in the US, right, you gotta look at it like, everyone's trying to target there. Then what about Southeast Asia? It is a growing market.
Yes.
It's exponentially improving, right? So if you figure out how to export within this region, you'll be the first one to do so. And look at the Western artists. What they're trying to do? They're trying to come here.
Come here, yeah.
Why are we going there?
Yeah.
If they are trying to look to come here, then we should be trying to build here first.
20 years ago, maybe going there is the right decision.
Correct.
But now, I don't know.
Now I'm not sure anymore. And then also like there's tax and racism and 1001 like the Trump, right? So like It gets so complicated.
Yeah, government getting more and more unstable, whereas our government, everybody praising. You know, like whenever like Lawrence go and do some overseas interview, right? The comment section is like, whoa, I love this guy.
Yeah, Lawrence
why our government is not like that?
Yeah, right. And
you really like, whoa, shit, dude,
he's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lawrence is dope.
Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking about it in more practical even.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you go to America.
Yeah.
How long is the flight time? 12 hours?
16.
16, right? Okay, let me put it this way. Thailand is a 2-hour 30-minute flight. If we both leave, right? You go America, I go to Thailand. We're both DJs, right? I go at 11 o'clock. By that night, I can play in a club. You will still be on the flight.
I can play a few clubs already, actually.
Yeah, okay, even better. Yeah, you can do a circuit, right? Within that night, you would still be on the... I will do that circuit, you'll still be on the flight. Then, you can land in America. You need 1 day to rest because jet lag.
Yeah.
I will hit the club again the next day. And then, by the time you're ready, I fly to Vietnam.
Right.
And then you play your first circuit. I'm already on my 3rd circuit.
Yeah.
Think about it, then exponentially increase. Why do I think Southeast Asia is it? Just think about it in terms of time, right? Like, we all have the same 24 hours.
Yeah.
Why I would say Southeast Asia is, look at how fast I can do a circuit.
Yeah.
And even more, I go Malaysia, you go to America.
Yeah.
By the time you land America, you finish, I could go to Malaysia, finish a fucking circuit, then fly to Indonesia, and the next day do another circuit, and then fly to Philippines, and you would just start your first circuit. I would have already conquered 2 countries.
And I realized that if you do a US circuit, right, you are still targeting one culture.
Yeah.
In Southeast Asia, maybe the landmass is like US or that, but it's all different country and different fan base.
And you still need to fly. The flight price is the same because you have to fly in between America or
yeah,
long drives.
yeah.
So you have to fly. You might hit the New York circuit, but then if you want to hit the LA circuit, it's another long ass flight.
Super fast.
Yeah, but then if you do like within this region, right, you can just keep going here, and the flight prices are cheap if you fly budget. Not that expensive. So like I think like circuit wise is better for a DJ actually to do Southeast Asia and then just play a bunch of clubs. Don't really make that much, but just by
spread your name.
Yeah, just spread your name. Because you do it a few times, yes, it might be tiring the first year. By the time you do a second year, right, you would have done how many shows? Not only as a craftsman of like doing DJ as a craft, how many more shows will you have played to a guy targeting America?
Yeah.
And how long can you stay in America also? Right? O1 visa maximum what, 3 years? You can keep Southeast Asia you can keep doing forever. Nobody cares.
I mean, you are Singaporean, one.
Yeah.
You are literally in the heart of Southeast Asia.
Exactly. So you can just keep going back and forth, go. And every flight is like what, 1 hour, 2 hours?
Yeah.
30 minutes. Like KL, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, no, 1 hour, 5 minutes.
But then in Singapore, your Singaporean compatriots only look up to you if you kind of make it in the West, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it doesn't really matter now.
I would say, yeah. So here's the thing, right? Like I don't get a lot of respect in my industry because I don't go to the West.
Oh.
Right?
It's always like that, what? Singapore, what?
Yeah, but don't care. I'm the one with the 5 studios. I have 5 studios. I'm the one who built a business. Like I feed
Homeground Studios is 5 locations.
So we have 1 level of a building, right? Where I built five studios with a business partner. Right. And then now, right, like we have half of it with 1M1 Studios and half of it is Homeground Studios.
What's 1M1?
Oh, it's run by Ernie Go and Robbie Say. Like they are now based in Homeground Studios. Right, so we rent out half the level of the building. But like you see, like if I were to care about like cloud, like I don't get the newspaper articles. Like like Korean pop or the worst Xiao. Like I don't get any of that. But I'm the one Josh and Ranga have careers because of me. That's where I derive my value from. It depends on where you derive your value from because like all these articles, like I did have the Her World, Evers, the August Man things, but like that doesn't bring me much fulfillment. Yeah. I would like to be the guy that if you know, you know. But if you know, like this guy got your back, you have career.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that is the one. Like, and so like that's the way I want to be. Not the guy who like everybody's like singing praises of. I want to be the secret guy that like you want to get in his good books because like he's the one who will build a sustainable career for you, for your children, for yourself. Yeah, I think that's cooler. That's why I'm okay with not going to the West. Plus 16-hour flight. My God.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're also writing English music, right?
Yeah.
You're not doing Mando pop or what, right? Are you going to venture there because your target audience is so Southeast Asian?
So I think, for example, right, like English music, there is a growing market because it's about the education level. So all I'm just doing is waiting because eventually these like poorer countries, right, they will catch up. They will grow.
So you believe that the world will be united with English?
For sure.
Right.
Because it needs to happen. Like the only place that probably won't is China and India because they don't need it.
Yeah. Too big already.
Yeah, too big already. But then in that case, right, like you have their own problems, right? Like thankfully I'm half Chinese, so I know Chinese, right? Yes, I'm open to targeting the individual cultures as well. Nothing wrong with that. But unifying wise, right, in terms of business, everybody will learn English. Because it makes sense. Like if everyone here learns Mando, but like, you can't do work with the West. But a lot of Chinese people know English. Right? So obviously if let's say I'm Thai, or like I'm Vietnamese or I'm Filipino, I would learn English.
Rather than Mandarin, right?
Yeah, because Mandarin is China's there, yes. But you see Philippines, they have very bad relationships with China.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's in the news. You see, that's why you gotta look outside of music. Right. That's why I tell people.
I know it's
outside.
usually the US and China.
No,
I didn't know Philippines as well.
Yeah, they always fight.
Taiwan and China, Hong Kong and China. Actually, everybody in China, except for Singapore.
But like, if you look at Philippines, right, they have a lot of tension in China. So actually, Philippines knows a lot of English. So you can actually target that for English. And then obviously, if you want to like not isolate, you will learn English as well. So I feel like it will be the grand unifier. They'll teach it in classes as well. And like eventually, English music will be consumed a lot. You can look no further than go Spotify, the top 50 songs. Then you go see from each country. A lot of it's English. Or Korean.
Right.
Yeah. So like that's why I'm okay. It's just a waiting game.
And even your K-pop idols, their titling also in English for searchability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not Mandarin then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why not Korean? Wow, dies. The title in Korean died already. I cannot find.
Yeah, but if you look at it, all of it, right? Like even Koreans, right? Why are they not doing it in Mando? You see?
But like, South Korea and China also tension.
No, but that's the thing. That's why it will be English. That's why the great unifying language will be English.
Yeah. Correct. I guess we are kind of in the right path lah.
Yeah, so that's why it's just a waiting game, and it's about surviving as long as possible, and also like building the right infrastructure. So that's all I'm doing, and while learning how to do all of it, building the right infrastructure, learning and building it slowly in Southeast Asia, because a lot of the infrastructure that is needed for like something like K-pop to happen does not exist yet. Not just in Singapore, just even in our neighbors.
Yeah.
It does not exist.
K-pop, there's only one K-pop one. Only they managed to do it.
Yeah.
Even Japan also like kind of barely can.
No, Japan actually, I'll be real with you, Japan has it.
But not so.
They don't want to export.
Why?
Because they don't need to. Like,
don't they want to like, I don't know, spread their message or something?
Alright, so not a lot of people know this, right? So like, let's look at the top 3 streaming markets, right, in the world for music consumption. Number 1, like, okay, minus off China. Okay, because we don't have China data.
US
then
number 1.
We minus India also, because we don't have India data. So US number 1. What's number 2?
Japan?
Yeah.
Is it Japan?
Yeah.
I know that because I work with DJ City and the HQ is like US, UK, Japan.
Yeah, but the HQ, but here, think about it. There's the entire Europe. Japan's number 2.
Yeah.
Europe
one country bigger than the one state. One continent.
Yeah.
Oh damn, they consume a lot of music.
They do. So why do I need to export?
Right. Their own people. That's why the vinyl sales so hot, right?
Yeah.
They buy from themselves.
Yeah, and then not only that, Americans are still buying anime culture.
Oh, right.
Right, people forget about anime culture, right? But it's so hot in UK, it's so hot in America, it's so hot across the world. Even I'm a fucking big anime fan.
So basically, Japanese culture is so rich that people come to them.
Yeah, but it's just that it's no longer the it thing, but the culture's still there. Like many K-pop fans do watch anime. Many K-pop fans also do consume Japanese culture. You just don't know it yet. But the moment you eat sushi, you're already consuming Japanese culture.
So I think Japan is more of that classical, non-trend chasing.
Yes.
Evergreen.
Yeah, you already got it. Like Yoasobi.
Very familiar. What's that?
Yoasobi is a Japanese group, right? A music group, right? They came to Singapore, sold out in fucking like minutes, right? Same as K-pop, but like it's just not as hot or as widely known.
I mean, evergreen not trending.
Correct, but Yoasobi is huge in the world because they did this one song for opening anime called Idol. Like what's the name? But they did a song, so they got huge because of it. So like you if you think about it, Japanese culture is actually as big as K-pop or even bigger. Yeah, Korea is actually trying to break into Japan. You know that aespa has a Japanese album, Hot Mess.
I mean, all your K-pop idols, they always have Japanese and Thailand members to try to break into the individual.
Correct. But if you look at Japanese, right, they have Japanese targeted releases. Just because of that, they don't have Thai targeted releases, but they sing in Thai. Yeah, look at you have Les Seraphim doing Japanese versions. You have aespa doing Japanese versions. Because Japan's a huge ass market. Yeah, number 2 in the world.
Wow, that's crazy in terms of
That's
music
that's why
production.
Japan, and I went to Japan, I've talked to Japanese labels, Japanese artists, right? There's no need to export because they literally don't have to.
Because export is also a hassle, right?
Yeah, for them it's like, why
Just
do I
focus
need
on the art
to? Yeah, I just can focus on my art and I'm already exporting without doing anything.
That is crazy, dude.
Yeah. Like, I don't need to get bigger than this. I can go tour in America if I wanted to. I can go tour in Southeast Asia if I wanted to. But do I?
But you don't hear any Singaporeans say, hey, let's make it in Japan, right? You don't really hear that.
Oh, but that's because it's incredibly hard to break into that market.
Is it because like xenophobic or something?
Not my place to say about what that is, but I think it's
Right.
more along the lines of the language barrier.
Also, yeah.
Right? First thing. And then secondly, obviously, like, the competition there is real tough. Because with such a prominent market, then obviously the artists there are amazing. So like, you gotta...
The anime OST, walao I see the score sheet, I want to die, dude.
Yeah, and they
What the
predominantly consume Japanese music. So Japanese music is a different genre altogether by itself. Different rules and different everything, right? And like, I mean, like, it's same with Korean music as well, right? Like, different rules and whatever. Like, people trying to make it in America, people trying to make it in Korea. I personally feel just because it's a lot cooler, it's just a lot more like opportunities. Like, even Japan also, right? But if you want to talk about it, I feel like, yes, less opportunities, a lot harder, Southeast Asia, but growth factor. Because you go to Korea, you're just another artist, you're just another songwriter, you're just another producer. You figure out this game in Southeast Asia, you'll be one of the first few, right? You'll be the first one to write a hit in Philippines and then go to Malaysia and have a Malaysian hit and an Indonesian hit and a Filipino hit, right? Like different languages or different, all English.
Damn.
Right? You see, like, that's so cool, right? But when that person comes up, like, then the Korean guys will want to play catch up, but then they have to go to these countries, right? But as in Korea, they're just gonna be like, you know, like, we already have Korean writers that are really good.
Yeah.
Why do we need you?
Correct. When Blackpink, they released their trap song, what was that? One of the very familiar one with Rosé as the lead singer. Hit you with that do-do-do-do-do,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that was also like, wow, what a I was like, okay, K-pop is like, this is the turning point really. Like, wow, they start to inculcate like American producers and everything.
Yeah.
Whatever money can buy, they just pump in.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you want to go there and compete with them, it's like an uphill battle. So might as well just do it in the Southeast Asia.
That's my advice lah. It's just a lot easier. But like, not saying that going Korea try is wrong. Like, who knows? Maybe I'll go Korea and try.
Yeah.
But like, personally, I like the battles here because I think it's more fun, right? Because like, I don't like doing things that I know like the end result of. I don't like following the wave. Like, okay, everyone's like, oh, go America. I always be the kind where like, okay, y'all go. I want to see what's on this side of the fence. Or like, everyone's like, let's go Korea. And I'm like, okay, y'all go. I want to see what's here. Because like, if I go to Korea, like, again, it goes back to, remember I said, I don't know. I don't like knowing. Because you go to Korea, you know what you're going to do is you work hard so you can write some Korean hits. Then you get embedded in Korean culture. And then you go into rooms and you work with Korean artists. You see it like, it's like a...
Step by step, right?
You know.
But this is like a long process, right?
Yeah, but you already know what the goal is and eventually what's going to happen when you make it.
Right.
I don't know how to do this Southeast Asia thing. Neither do you, neither do most of the world. They're like, dude, no one's done this before. This is crazy. This is stupid. Yeah, that's why it's fun. Because it's not been done before. If I were to do the Korean or the American way, it's the same. Like, there are many people who have tried before me. And there are many people who have tried after me. And like, I already know what's the success story if I make it. Then if I make it, I win a Grammy. And then what? Then.
Most people would prefer to do that, you know?
Yeah.
It's more like safe side gang, you know?
Power to them, man. Like, like, I wish I was like that, but I like doing like, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen next. If I knew, why would I start like a studio and then start a publishing company and then a label if I wanted to know what I was gonna do? If I wanted to know what I was gonna do, I would just do work in finance. I would make a lot of money and I'll know what tomorrow brings. But like, with this, I don't know what tomorrow brings. I might close everything in a year's time.
Yeah.
Who knows? Right? I might pivot to KL, or like maybe I will go Philippines, right? Or maybe in the end I could give up everything and try to make it in Korea or America. That's so much fun, right? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen 10 years from now, right? Yes, you might say there's no stability in this, but at the same time, there's like this excitement, right? That money can't buy. Like, you can't pay me $1 million to feel this level of excitement that I feel every day when I wake up for work.
Yeah.
Right. Why? Like, people ask me like, why do I work like 12, 14 hours? How do I do it? It's been 8 years, right? Yeah. How do you work 12 hours a day still until today? Oh, because I don't know. I don't know, and like it's so exciting to do so, right? Like it's exciting to go to work, it's exciting to figure out what's next. It's exciting to get your ass handed to you and be like, shit, nothing's working out.
Yeah.
Right? It's exciting to fail. And like go and do all these things and I failed. Right? And then I have to go back to the drawing board and then figure out what to do next. Like I failed a lot. I feel like this year I failed a lot. Right?
In what sense?
Right, I don't think like we did the best we could for the label. I don't think I did the best I could in a lot of aspects of what I did this year in terms of my releases, and like I wasn't balancing my life properly. Oh, this is all learning lessons. Like I'm not saying that I'm like everything I'm doing is great. Like I fucking fail a lot, but that's fun. Like like
every year you were like trying to recalibrate yourself, but then at the end of the year you realize, wow, shit, like not enough, yeah.
Yeah, because if I figure it all out and I know what's gonna happen that year, I think that's when you get stagnant. And that's when everything goes downhill. Right? Like when you know what's going to happen tomorrow, when you know what's going to happen the day after that, then you kind of lose the drive for it. But when you don't know and it's exciting, like I always tell my guys, like I don't know what your careers are going to bring you, because like when we did with Josh, right? When we tried to make him TikTok viral, everyone was telling me it's impossible because TikTok geologs.
That's what I heard also.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I said, but show me your evidence. What is your factual like references? This is from uni, right? Like what's your factual references to prove to me that TikTok geologs? Because I've never read about this. No one can give me a website with a proven algorithmic statement or a statement from TikTok that says it.
Right.
Even TikTok themselves denies that this is true. Right? So then I was like, so now we figure out the strategy. So I went online, I researched. I think like when we were creating the Josh Makazu strategy, I researched for like 4 months, dude. We had Half My Heart in August of 2022. We only released it in June of 2023 because we spent all that time researching how to do TikTok and what's the virality. We restarted Josh's TikTok account twice, right? Just to test how a new account works on the algorithm as well on the platform.
Yeah.
All of that, right? Just to figure out how to go viral. And then he did. He was the first artist to go viral. Now we have so many. Right? And like we have Ranga going in Thailand, we have Regina's song now. Like everyone's fucking like viral now. And then like, oh, now it's possible. But when we did it, everyone was telling us that it was impossible. Like Sazari is the only one, and like it was a fluke.
Back then, when I was like I think in the DJ world, right, I very quickly got to 30,000 followers, and that's like a anomaly. So TikTok kind of contacted me, and then there are people set up like a Teams meeting with me, and then they are explaining to me that how it works, you know, like your Singaporean audience must like enough, and then you spread to Malaysia, you spread. So it's technically geo-locked. That's what they are explaining to me. But how do you figure out that it is actually not? Or did they update the algorithm to not be geo-locked? Okay,
so how I figured out it's not geo-locked, right? It was very simple. You go into Thailand, you start consuming Thai content, and then suddenly you come back to Singapore, you still get Thai content.
For a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Right? So why is that not geo-locked? It's supposed to be geo-locked, but I'm still getting Thai content. Even though I left the country. Why? Why when I consume a Thai, like let's say for example, I have a Thai influencer I'm a fan of, I consume that, I get Thai content also after my TikTok. But it's supposed to geo-lock. I'm not supposed to get these things. So then I started questioning a lot of these things, right? Like I'm getting like US, if I follow The Weeknd, I get a lot of US news. I get a lot of US content. Why? I'm not in the US. Then I was thinking, oh, okay. So then I started playing with timing, dates, days, right?
Does anything matter?
It does. So like
timing matters.
Yeah, try to like, if you go overseas, post while overseas.
You go overseas, then
you post while you're overseas, target that market. Right. Timing does like yes, posting at 12:30 a.m. targets the US.
So if you want to target US in your own country, you target their
time zone,
right.
Yeah, so we tried a lot of different things, a lot of different content, a lot of different like try even copying like US content so that we fit into that algorithm and so that we
follow their trend.
Yeah. A lot of test, trial and error.
Wow, dude, how many TikToks you post a day?
I think we had Josh had like 100 drafts. We didn't, and then he just kept creating still. So like 100 drafts in the back burner, still creating a lot. Yeah. And then we restarted again after that. Like after we failed, first time we tried again. Tried memes, tried anime, tried everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So technically you're like spending actually more time on the marketing than the music, man.
No. I would say both equally. We just that we had the music first.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because remember August 2022 we had Half My Heart.
Yeah,
Only drop a year later.
you guys also not rapid fire release, right?
Correct.
You
Yeah.
have it ready, then think about the marketing.
Yeah, because the marketing is most important.
What about these guys like, hey, can you rap? You know the two guys. There's this like
Crash Adams.
yeah, dude. I heard they're like quite crazy also. The other day I was like just having this conversation with Adventure Time. He's like, wow, dude, their back burner is like crazy.
Yeah.
An amount of drafts.
Yeah, same. Everybody has that. You should have a lot.
Recently in a conference, Hartwell just uttered this statement. Did you saw it?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my god. It is like, oh, your music doesn't matter. It's now about your Instagram followers and everything.
Okay. No. I deny that. That's EDM world.
EDM world.
Yeah. He's also very jaded.
Right.
I mean, Hardware has been around since I was a kid. Yeah, he's also very jaded. I don't disagree, but I do agree that marketing is the most important. Right? In this world, in this day and age, especially social media, marketing your music is very important.
Is it like more important than the product?
No, it's that's the worst part. It's like the product needs to be exceptionally good, and then you still need to market because there are many good songs.
Right.
But then there are not a lot of good songs that have good marketing. So to make it, you need to have a great song, great marketing together combined. Last time just great song already.
Yep.
Now great song, great marketing, and then you gotta have a great push. And then all three combined, maybe you have a shot.
Yeah, maybe, right?
Maybe you have a shot. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. But to do art is not for the faint-hearted, lah.
It's not. It's difficult, but at the same time, I mean, like you and I having the privilege of doing art, this difficulties is a given.
Yep.
Right. That's what I feel. Like and this is something I'm very grateful for my dad because he's from a village, right? You go into a village, right? Like, and you realize you really just put a lot of perspective into like we are very lucky to do what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So difficulty, it's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be challenging, because it's not the normal thing. So fuck it lah, just do it.
Yeah. Great. Can't wait to see what you release next, man. Like, I think a lot of our audience probably wouldn't be able to feel your craft directly because you are like moving the chess pieces, you know.
I think a lot of Singaporeans don't even realize they consume the music I produce. Like Benjamin King and Lullaboy had a new song. And I produced that.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
I mean, like so many producers are like, you must go to the Spotify, click credits, then you can see. I mean, even Hardware also got somebody else produce.
So the crazy part, right, is like a lot of people don't know this, but as a producer, you want to make a guess how many million streams I have as a producer?
I think you probably have a lot, right? Because you're from this artist, that artist.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you have like one song 10 million, right? So probably multiples of that, 30 million, 40 million.
Go higher.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
What, 100 million?
Go higher.
Whoa! As a producer.
As a producer.
I don't know. What's your 1 billion?
No, not so high. But 300 million
300 million
streams.
But then the thing is like, if you split the money, it's like so many ways, right? Artist, and then labor, whatever, distribution. Yeah.
No, but I don't make from streams.
Oh, you don't make from?
I don't make. I get.
Or you
paid.
sell the song,
I get paid for my service, yeah.
Oh.
But like that's how much I've done in the last 8 years. Yeah.
What is fucking successful? Most people 8 years probably cannot get that level.
Yeah, no. So like that's why I said like as a producer. That's just as a producer, not even as a manager, as a distribution guy, as a publisher, right? Like I like it that you don't know who I am. Like most people won't, but like you felt the effects of what I've done. Right, through your favorite artists, right, like Benjamin King, like Gentle Bones, Lullaboy, Jasmine Sokol. You will probably go there. Do you know that Jasmine's Coldplay set was done by my team, Robbie Say and myself?
Coldplay set as in what, the arrangement, song?
Yeah, arrangement was done with Nas, myself, and Robbie Say. Yeah, but nobody knows. And like I think like that's the main point, because like maybe one day I'll change into more content, but like I've for the last 7 years, 8 years, I've been on this philosophy of let your work speak. Because I don't want to make, I was thinking about it when I was like maybe at 25, right? I didn't want to make content especially about what I do, until I've had a certain level of success. Because if I don't, then I would be a snake oil salesman.
Right.
Like, why should you listen to this guy?
Right.
oh, then I need to prove to you first, right? I need to have successful viral artists. I need to have millions of streams, hundreds of millions of streams. Once I have all these proofs, because I literally have proof I have 300 million. I have proof of a viral artist. Then now when I promote and I do things right and I promote my content, it's like, yes, because I want to give value. I think at the end of the day, I just want to give value to the people I work with. Like wherever I do anything, it's like even when I work with my artists or like even as my clients, it's like how do I give you value? Yeah. So that's why, but also running 3 companies very busy, so I have no time to do social media.
3 companies. Homeground.
Homeground Studios, Homeground Music Publishing, and No Saints Allowed, the distribution label.
Oh, okay. Wow. So Homeground is 2 different.
2 different. So Homeground Studios is just a studio business. It does music production and corporate jingles. Homeground Music Publishing is a music publishing company.
Sing licensing,
rights, everything. No Saints Allowed is the distribution label and also artist management. We distribute for Josh, Ranga, Gene Seizure, Regina Songs, Suncell. Sorry, not Ranga. Ranga's We Believe, but Josh, Regina, Gene Seizure, Suncell. And then for management, I do Josh Makazo and Ranga Jones.
What the fuck? Is there like a limit? Like how many artists you can manage?
Oh, this is the limit. I don't want anymore.
Yeah, dude. It's like fucking impossible, man.
Yeah, 7 days a week. So like usually I work every single day.
Okay.
Like every day. Like I don't think I've really gone on a date in Singapore in a while.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Or like go out for friends. I don't really hang out. Like
I mean, you also don't really care about the getting invited to events, whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
August man, all these.
No.
Right.
I don't. Like then Josh gets invited to events. I always be like, can I not go, please?
He represent.
Yeah. You just go. I don't want to go. But like I think like but the main thing is like it's not that I hate these events. It's more along the lines of like I'm very introverted. I'm very good on a 1-on-1, very good on like maybe a 5-on-1, but the moment it goes past 6, I'm like...
Right. Do training also.
INFJ, man. Yeah.
INFJ?
Yeah, INFJ. Yeah, so I'm not really good with like big crowds. So that's why I'm like...
Okay.
Like being more in the shadows.
INFJ, I have a few friends, right? They say that INFJ is like an introvert that feels the most like an extrovert, right?
Yeah. We feel very extroverted.
Then everybody want to be your friend and you're just like, wow, fuck.
INFJ is the kind where like you meet them, right? Then you think they're extroverted, right? But actually deep down inside, right? We're smiling, but we're like, I don't want to go home. The moment it goes past 6, right? We have a limit. There's a hard cap. Right? There's the wow, if you meet him like a group of 4, right? Wow, he damn extroverted. But if you meet him in a group of 8, you're like, why are you so quiet? Because there's a hard cap. Everybody's limit is different. The moment you hit the cap, I'm dead.
Too much stimulation.
Yeah, I cannot. Wow, dude, I don't want. Sorry.
But great, thanks for like spending time with us, man.
Sorry,
This is like a great session. We learned so much. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like we just touched the surface of it, really. And I can't wait to have more in-depth conversations. This kind of conversations always lead to more stuff.
Yeah, if you want to get more technical and do a lot of the technical stuff, right, you can ask me again, but in another separate conversation. Bring another artist here, maybe he can ask me a few technical questions. Yeah, because it gets really like this is just the tip of the iceberg, but the iceberg gets really big.
We're not even talking about just music production. Talk about rights and everything.
Yeah, you gotta go from music production. That's just one layer. Then you gotta go to rights, another layer. Then about promotion, social media, another layer. Then releasing a music schedule, another layer. Then promoting an album and make sure that album's congruent is another layer. All of this, it contributes to the iceberg of being an artist in Singapore. Yeah. Oof. Which is why most of my artists just go like, Jason, help. And I was like,
you just do it.
No. I would never accept that. If they tell me to do that, right, I'll kick them out. They know this. Anybody who works with me, any artist who works with me, right, if they come to me and say, Jason, just do everything for me, I'll say, get out. Yeah, because I'll say like, this is your career, not mine. I exist as a vessel to help you make your career. I exist as a vessel to guide you, but I am not you. Don't make me do your job for you, because I don't owe you anything. I don't owe your career to you. I don't owe you as anything. If you ask me to do everything, I'll say no.
So that's very atypical as compared to a traditional record label executive, really, right?
Yeah, because traditional like if you want me to be a traditional record label, I'll follow the business model. If I'm gonna make your career, then I'll own your career.
Yeah.
Because I made you.
Yeah.
Why not? Why I deserve to own you? Because everything that you are, I will make. But if you want to have creative control, then do it yourself.
Right.
And then let me help you. But if you don't want to do it yourself, then I will own you. Then don't complain about being a major label.